accused of telling multiple lies, is now under investigation on Capitol Hill. The House Ethics Committee launching a formal probe of New York Republican George Santos, who has admitted lying about his background and has also faced questions about campaign finances. A former staffer has accused him of sexual misconduct. Santos has denied that and refuses calls to resign. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has said he'll wait for the outcome of any investigations. Justice Department lawyers give a green light to lawsuits against former President Trump over the Capitol riot. A legal brief filed today says a federal appeals court should reject Trump's claim that he's immune from lawsuits brought by Democratic lawmakers and 2 Capitol police officers, in line with what a lower court judge already decided.
Judge Amit Mehta dismissed Trump's claim that he has immunity from such injury lawsuits last February, finding his speech ahead of the riot did not fall under his presidential duties and that his speech was likely incitement not protected by the First Amendment.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The filing does not impact an ongoing special counsel probe of Trump. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's back in the forecast. 52 degrees, sunny downtown. Radar clear for now. There are some chances for rain later tonight as the low will drop just below 40. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Most of the state's supposed to get a lot of rain tomorrow.
And that means flooding is a concern. I'm John Herrick. David Beechler with the National Weather Service explains why.
Sort of the setup that we have right now is we already have soil conditions that are moist and almost saturated in some spots from the last week and a half of rainfall that we've seen already.
Most of the state is under a flood watch. He says rainfall totals will be heaviest in the southern portion of the state. Some places there could get well over 3 inches of rain. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A jury in Hendricks County convicted Richard Osofsky on several charges, including neglect of a dependent causing death. The former Danville resident's daughter died in 2020, a few days after being sent to the hospital with a head injury, say police. The Marion County Medical Examiner's Office said his 4-month-old daughter's injuries were consistent with blunt force trauma, and Osofsky was arrested in 2021. His sentencing is scheduled for later this month. A commissioner in Knox County has been charged with battery against a child. Kurt Darling reports.
Trent Hinkle told state troopers that he had been arguing with his foster daughter Tuesday. He admitted to throwing down his phone during the altercation and that the phone ended up hitting the teenage girl, causing a small bruise and cut. He's since been arrested for domestic battery against a child under 14 years old. Hinkle has since bonded out of jail. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Residents in Putnam County want answers about contaminated soil from the East Palestine train derailment being brought to a landfill in their county.
We're not poisoning you. The material is isolated in one of the most protective landfills.
Audio from a tense public meeting last night. Heritage environmental workers are trying to ease concerns, saying the landfill in Rochdale is safe to take in the soil. They say 3 truckloads have already been dropped off and more expected in the future. If you need to fill up your car today, Gas Buddy says the statewide average is $3.26 per gallon. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at the east side, southbound 465 slow, 70 down to Washington Street. Inbound 69 tightens up 96 down to 82nd. A little bit of slow into the north split on southbound 65 from west. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. When you choose Comcast Business, you choose a future-ready, next-generation 10G network. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Winds begin to pick up tonight, along with rain developing overnight, with lows falling to 40. Moderate to heavy rain for your Friday. Very windy with thunderstorms, highs near 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer, and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Anybody tired of those wishy-washy, squishy, riding the fence type Republicans? Are you tired of that? I sure as hell am. That's why I love Representative Chip Roy out of Texas. I sure as hell am, Chip! I love the way they're talking to you.
Bring the heat! So yesterday, this was pretty dynamic. While we were doing our show, Chip Roy, representative from Texas, quietly walked to the podium, talked about his heritage of being a Texan, talked about how proud he was of the Alamo, and then spent the next 15 minutes basically putting his fellow Republicans in a body bag and burying them in a cemetery. So if you're tired of wishy-washy Republicans, let's hear from the representative from Texas.
What did Travis and the rest of the Alamo sacrifice for? A federal government that opens our borders to cartels? A group of Republicans who campaign on securing the border, who run away in abject surrender, refusing to actually do it? That's the question before us right now. That's the question for every member of the Republican conference. I'm speaking to you. If you do not secure the border now, you are giving up any argument you have for the American people to put their faith in you. Will Republicans honor their campaign commitments to secure the border, yes or no?
And in many ways, this speech by Chip Roy, Nige, was kind of like watching an Iowa basketball game. Because in the first quarter, the first half, you'll see Iowa's head coach Fran McCaffrey get a little agitated and he'll get a little upset. But as the game goes on, you see things turn completely different. Things get amped up a little bit more. And when Chip Roy is ripping Republicans, you just let the big dog eat.
What I am seeing right now from my Republican colleagues does not give me faith that they will stand up in the breach, as did those men who stood on the wall at the Alamo. I am tired of words. Things are going to change in this body. If my Republican colleagues believe that they're going to be moving through relatively meaningless provisions, doing precious damned little for the very people who sent us here to change things, and they think that some of us are just going to go along for the ride, they are sorely mistaken. We will not.
I mean, he's echoing the sentiments of a lot of his constituents, of people across the country. Okay, I mean, you had Trump in the White House, you had the Senate, you had Congress, and nothing got accomplished. I mean, it was even questionable that Trump really did anything. I mean, the border was much better under Trump, but did he get all he said he was going to accomplish during his 4 years as president? No, I don't think so.
And it was the Republicans that made life difficult for Donald Trump. And now they're so scared of upsetting the precious Democrats and the woke folks in charge of the media that they don't want to fight anymore. And I think Chip Roy was ready to bring the fight to his own team.
My colleagues on this side of the aisle today ran away from actually holding the executive branch responsible. Why? For petty, personal, political reasons. That ain't gonna fly. That's not gonna be the way this works. We did not come to this chamber to continue to allow the executive branch to run over the American people. Where sitting today is a young man who served his country and is being denied his commanding officer job, being forced to try to pay back student loans because he dared to say no to a vaccine mandate that was politically driven. And what is this side of the aisle doing about it? Not a damned thing. What is this side of the aisle doing about open borders? Nothing. What is this side of the aisle doing about an ATF rule about to make felons out of 10 million Americans or more? Nothing. What is this side of the aisle going to do about spending? Lip service.
I feel like the national anthem should be playing in the background here.
Right?
Listening to Chip Roy.
Crank up the battle hymn of the Republic, because I love this speech.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, Chip Roy was somebody who kept wanting new leadership in the Republican Party. Because one of the arguments that I'm seeing on social media is all these Republicans are outraged, but they keep electing the same people in charge. The group known as the McFailures, from Ronna McDaniel to Mitch McConnell to Kevin McCarthy. They elect the same people who have not been getting the results. But Chip Roy, he was against Kevin McCarthy. He wanted a little bit of a different avenue of leadership. So let's hear how he wraps this whole thing up.
We should pass a bill off this floor saying that we will raise the debt ceiling, but only if you end the disastrous student loans that are going to cost $400 billion and drive up the cost of higher ed. Only if you rescind the $91 billion of unobligated COVID money. Only if you go rescind the $80 billion designed to increase the IRS to go after taxpayers, including, by the way, more often the poorest among us and minorities. Only if you will return spending to 2022 levels, getting our spending back to pre-COVID levels, and make sure that we cap spending so we stop funding the woke, weaponized bureaucracy that's going after the American people. Do that. Send that over to the Senate. Send that over to the Senate and make Chuck Schumer and the President of the United States choke on it.
There you go. Choke on it, baby. Choke on it. The only thing missing was like the DX crotch chop right there from the old Attitude Era of the WWE.
Can we get more leadership like this? Can we get more of that in Indiana? I'm just saying, like, I mean, everything he said are things that maybe you and I have been talking about on the show quite a bit, and Rob Kendall especially, in terms of the Republican Party and holding them accountable, especially when they're in charge, when they're the ones running the show.
Now, this rant, it started to go viral, and he was getting a lot of attention, and it feels like it was rubbing Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats in the House, the wrong way.
Oh, no.
Here is what Hakeem Jeffries had to say about Chip Roy.
Shut up, Chip, or I'll go ape shit on your ass.
That's Hakeem Jeffries right there.
You got me. Well, what can Hakeem Jeffries have to say?
All joking aside,
Okay.
here is fellow Democrat Jerry Nadler.
Chip, I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey.
Yeah, turn up the heat.
It's old Nads.
You got me. You got me twice.
Yeah, turn up the heat.
I love the way they're talking to you, Chip.
So Frank and Kerry, John Kerry, he says that the Inflation Reduction Act is, quote, the most significant piece of climate legislation in our history at a big speech last night.
And I am confident that this, our Ocean Conference, is going to continue our legacy of success. For our part, the United States is highlighting 77 announcements from 8 agencies and offices valued at nearly $6 billion. This is more than double the commitments that we highlighted last year in terms of dollar value, and thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, which is the most significant piece of climate legislation in our history, we will be doing even more.
So if I heard that correctly, we're doing more than $6 billion because of the bill that's supposed to lower inflation.
Democrats have stopped calling it the Inflation Reduction Act. I have news for you, because it's not. It's the climate bill. That's what it is. It's a climate change bill. It's not inflation, because inflation's not reducing. There's no reduction going on. I'm sorry.
Was this ever about inflation, this bill?
No, he just said it. That's John Kerry. What we've been, again, that's something else we've been saying is that this Inflation Reduction Act, all this money, it has nothing to do with inflation. They've quit calling it the Inflation Reduction Act. It's a climate bill. It's a crazy climate bill to placate the climate cultists in this, on the progressive side in this country.
And there are some Republicans that voted for this.
Oh, yeah.
There are Republicans that said, boy, John Kerry's behind this. Where do I sign? Let me put my signature right there on the dotted line. Now, on the subject of inflation, something that I think everybody can relate to here, inflation has hit the dentist office.
Oh, no.
According to a new poll by Delta Dental, the average cost per tooth is up 16% from over a year ago. It went from a little over $5 to now over $6 per tooth.
You talking Tooth Fairy here?
Well, a little bit. Now, Hammer and Nigel Financial Services, we understand.
We have a financial services division?
We do. We branched off, and we decided we want to help those who are hit by inflation, but also have some kids that might be missing some teeth.
Back in the day, if a kid lost a tooth, the Tooth Fairy would leave a quarter under their pillow. Well, times have changed. The going rate for a child's tooth is now $6 per tooth. If you've got a lot of kids, that's gonna cost you. Until now. Welcome Tooth Fairy Savings and Loan. Tooth Fairy Savings and Loan has family plans to accommodate up to 10 children per family, so you can afford to fill your child's brain with a make-believe fantasy figure. Open an account today at Tooth Fairy Savings and Loan and continue lying to your children tomorrow. Price per tooth adjusted for inflation. Tooth Fairy costume not included. Member FDIC.
Oh man, yeah. Ours goes by age. A Tooth Fairy comes to our house, and it's by age. So like, if Harper's getting ready to turn 9 and she loses a tooth, that's $9 under the pillow. The inflation, man.
A lot of people don't know this, but every third Wednesday of the month, Matt Baer dresses like the Tooth Fairy, and he goes to the WIBC Traffic Center.
That's Saturdays, Hammer.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Saturdays, my bad.
I probably misspoke earlier. We're looking at inbound 69 slows, 96th Street down to 465. Eastbound 465 Southside slow roll from Man Road over to Harding Street. That's a stop-and-go situation now. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Indiana, start your engines with Wendy's. Who's your biscuit bowl? A fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg for breakfast at participating Wendy's. Limited time only. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we got 53 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. If you haven't voted for yesterday's Biden Madness matchup, you still have time. Time is running out. You've only got a few more minutes left, and it's a close one. I believe it's 51% to 49%. So get on Twitter. It's pinned at the top of our Twitter account, at Hammer and Nigel. Follow us, vote in the poll. We will pick today's winner and have a new matchup coming up at 4:48 today.
Your neighbor Mark loves spring in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with a Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield. Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Inspiration grows here, the Indiana Flower and Patio Show, March 11th through 19th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds and Event Center, presented by Indiana 811. This is the ideal place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Stroll through this year's Indianapolis Landscape Association Feature Gardens, where spring is in full bloom and bursting with color. From landscaping and outdoor living to kitchens, baths, and more, don't miss the Indiana Flower and Patio Show. Plan your visit and save on tickets at indianaflowerandpatioshow.com.
Pat Sullivan here. Do gurgling pipes and running toilets keep you up at night? Become a member at Hope Plumbing and have the comfort of knowing you have a plumber on call. For only $8 a month, you get the ease of having your own plumber on hand, a 10% discount on all plumbing services, 1 annual free mainline cleaning, 1 annual plumbing safety inspection, and all the trip charges waived. Call Hope Plumbing today and become a member to start saving big.
Is your home's title still in your name? What would you do if you discovered you're the victim of a home title theft and that the one document that proves you own your home is no longer in your name? With Home Title Lock's free lookup service, you can verify your home is still safely in your name. Thieves can now discover the title to your home online. They simply forge your signature on a transfer document stating you sold your home to them. Then they take out loans on your home or sell it to some unsuspecting buyer. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you. Home Title Lock does. Home Title Lock puts a virtual shield around your home's title to help keep criminals away. First things first, verify your home's title is still in your name with Home Title Lock's free lookup service. There's no obligation. It's absolutely free. Then register your address for 30 free days of protection. Visit HometitleLock.com/free. HometitleLock.com/free.
My name is Sophie.
Sasha. Robert. Ron. And I'm alive thanks to my nurse practitioner.
My nurse practitioner saved me from a lifelong heart condition.
She prescribed the right medication. My NP diagnosed my multi-organ failure.
My NP listens.
She saved my life. Twice. And I will always be grateful.
To learn why millions of people choose NPs, visit us at wechoosenps.org.
Paid for by AANP.
Skyworks Equipment Rental of Indianapolis has immediate openings for experienced parts coordinators, heavy equipment mechanics, CDL drivers, and outside sales reps. Full-time with medical, disability, PTO, 401k, and more. Apply today at skyworksllc.com/jobs. Skyworks, building America from the ground up.
This situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part.
We're just the guys to do it.
Hammer and Nigel on 93 WIBC.
Baskin Robbins introducing new chicken and waffles flavored ice cream.
Cool.
You like this idea?
All right.
First of all, I haven't been to a Baskin Robbins in years. The one
Really?
I used to go to is all the time when I was a kid on the west side across from Ben Davis there at the corner of 10th and Girls School Road in that little shopping center right next to O'Malley's. It used to be A&P, and then it was Safeway, and then it was O'Malley's. So my grandparents lived over in the neighborhood right next to there. Loved it. Rainbow sherbet all the way, every day.
There's a Baskin Robbins right next to the Olive Garden in Greenwood. So if you're on, I believe it's 31, there's a little strip mall area. There's a Baskin Robbins right next to the Olive
I
Garden.
just don't know if I want my ice cream to have a taste of meat.
Well, it's not in the same building. I mean, it's like next door.
No. I'm saying they're new. I'm talking about their new flavor.
Oh, I thought you didn't want like the Olive Garden flavor
no.
in your Baskin Robbins.
I'm just saying the new flavor, chicken and waffles. I don't know if I want the taste of meat in my ice cream.
I do like chicken and waffles, though, man.
Sure.
I really do. So I'm going to give it a try because I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Baskin Robbins because I remember as a kid, they used to have the football helmet sundaes. Remember? They would put the sundae in like this little plastic football helmet.
Well, they had that at Dairy Queen, too, didn't they?
I know Dairy Queen did baseball, I think. And Baskin Robbins had the football ones. And, man, I love that. Like, I'm a sucker for the helmets. Do you remember those little football helmets that used to be in the quarter machine at like the grocery store?
Oh, sure.
You put a quarter or 50 cents in, you turn the knob, and a little bitty football helmet would come out. Are those anywhere around right now?
I know those little quarter things, that like in the vestibule at Meijer in Whitestown. There's a bunch of those little quarter things that have candy and toys in it. I don't know though that there was. As I was just there the other day, I don't know that there's the football helmets though.
If anybody knows where I can find like put a quarter in for the little mini football helmets, let me know. Hit us up at Hammer and Nigel.
Another thing I used to collect was those the little dancing raisins.
California raisins.
California raisins from Hardee's.
Yeah.
With the cinnamon rolls and stuff. Oh, man, I still have some of those laying around.
Remember when some of the fast food restaurants would have like commemorative glasses and it'd be like Flintstones or maybe something on it. And then years later you find out it had like toxic paint on it and now you've grown a tail and a second crank and
it's those are now all located in a dump in Richmond.
Our good friends at Putnam County are taking care of that right now. But yeah, I love Baskin-Robbins, man. When we go down to Tennessee in Pigeon Forge, there's a little Baskin-Robbins there.
Yeah, right. I'll try chicken and waffles ice cream. If somebody can get us some, that'd be great.
And if chicken and waffle ice cream goes well, who knows? The sky is the limit for Baskin-Robbins.
Push your taste buds to the limit with Baskin-Robbins' new Ultimate Ice Cream Flavor Combos. They started with chicken and waffles ice cream, and now there's more. Start with a scoop of mayonnaise and cotton candy, or try the peanut butter and ranch dressing in a waffle cone, Nutella and chili sauce, or mushroom, peaches, and blue cheese. And coming this summer, pork sausage and gummy bear sundaes, frosted flakes and Gouda ice cream, hot dogs and Twinkie shakes, and even popcorn and ketchup banana splits. Baskin-Robbins. More flavors, more fun.
Mayonnaise cotton candy combo.
The blue cheese and mushrooms has got my attention.
Starting to gag a little bit over here.
Miss Allison, can we get a little mood music, please?
Bon Jovi?
Happy 61st birthday to Juan Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi, which is his real name. John Bon Jovi. Take his politics out of the equation here. John Bon Jovi, frontman of Bon Jovi, a hit machine.
I had no idea. I know nothing about his politics, actually.
Oh, super lefty. He plays all these fundraisers. Like, he did a lot of concerts for Hillary and things back in the day. But if you're looking for a reason to drink, it's Bon Jovi's birthday tonight.
Always looking for a reason to drink.
So I got 3 different things here for you, Nige. I've got Bon Jovi doing a cover, someone doing a cover of Bon Jovi, and a mashup.
Okay.
Let's start with Bon Jovi doing a cover of the hit Shout from the Animal House soundtrack. Isley Brothers into Otis Day and the Nights, now Bon Jovi.
I would have preferred Shout from Tears for Fears.
So that's Bon Jovi doing a cover. This is a cover of a Bon Jovi song. This is Dead or Alive by the Zac Brown Band.
Another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home.
I like it.
I'm a cowboy.
Let's hear if the crowd gets into it here. Zac Brown Band right there. I like that.
I do too. If I was in the crowd, I love Zac Brown. I love that band. If I was in the crowd, I'd be fired up, singing along with every word. That was a good cover. That was a good version.
And here now to wrap it up is a mashup. Bon Jovi with Aha. Oh, wrong one, Allison. Wrong one. We need the mashup of Aha with Bon Jovi.
Is that in there? Because I really want to hear this. I've never heard this one.
It's a little faster.
Where do you find these things? I've never heard this.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through March 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration. for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required, and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not getting much of a break from the rain. 52 degrees, sunny in downtown Indy. Radar clear. Rain expected tonight as the low drops down to 39. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. You're going to be dealing with some rain soon.
We're anticipating that rain will overspread much of central Indiana late tonight, maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it will persist through much of the day Friday.
David Beechler with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says places in and around the Circle City could get about 2 inches of rain with smaller amounts in the north and more to the south. He says flooding is also a concern, especially in those low-lying areas. Yesterday, one of your senators addressed the Senate floor. Jaden Arnold reports.
Senator Todd Young joined Republicans in highlighting government overreach, focusing on the Biden administration's Waters of the United States rule.
The latest in their deluge of red tape, the rewritten Waters of the United States rule, will make it much harder and significantly more expensive for our farmers to help feed the rest of the world.
Young says that the rule is a bare-knuckle attempt to expand the reach of the federal government over their lives and activities. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Former President Donald Trump can be sued for the actions of Capitol rioters on January 6th a few years ago. The Justice Department said today that Trump's words that day went past the traditional function of public communication and crossed over into the territory of incitement of violence. Trump argues presidential immunity should protect him from any lawsuits. A group of House Democrats and 2 Capitol police officers are suing or want to sue the former president for the chaos caused that day. First Lady Jill Biden's trip to Indiana that was previously postponed has now been rescheduled. She's going to be in Valparaiso Monday, March 6th, to speak about growing the economy while she's visiting the Ivy Tech campus there. Indiana's oldest bar is under new ownership. Jason Amonat and Sean Lothridge are now in charge of the Slippery Noodle in downtown, which opened all the way back in 1850. They plan to make some changes while still honoring the bar's history and the previous owners. They also would like to add a few more liquor options and make a few menu changes. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Hey, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith.
And I'm Pastor Nathan Peternell.
And we serve at Life Church, and we got a podcast that we wanted to tell you about called Jesus, Sex, and Politics.
Yeah, you know all those things that the culture doesn't want to talk about that will scare you? Yeah, that's our bread and butter. We love it.
We're going to equip you on how to defend conservative constitutional values based in God's Word in this podcast. So tune in to Jesus, Sex, and Politics
wherever you get your podcasts.
With traffic at 3:34, what's going on, Matt Fair?
You got a Harrison Southside, eastbound 465, stop and go Kentucky Avenue over to Harding Street, and on the east side, southbound 465 slows from 70 to Washington. Eastbound 465, stop and go northeast side from Keystone Avenue past Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Winds begin to pick up tonight, along with rain developing overnight, with lows falling to 40. Moderate to heavy rain for your Friday. Very windy with thunderstorms, highs near 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
So around the summer of 2021, a lot of people started talking about, well, even before that, even in 2020, people were talking about the origins of COVID-19. Where did the virus come from? Was it a lab leak? Was it a pangolin at a wet market? If you said a lab leak, if you said it came out of a Wuhan lab, you were considered a nutto, a crazy person, a conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat. You were considered a racist. You were canceled. You were removed from social media platforms for even suggesting or having the nerve to ask where it came from. The mere possibility that it leaked out of a lab.
You were encouraging Asian hate in this country. That's what you were doing.
Exactly. It was totally nuts. And now, of course, it was around that time the FBI said that, COVID-19 more than likely leaked out of the Wuhan Institute of Virology. We just had the investigation from the Department of Energy saying the same thing, depending on how different levels of confidence from those two entities. But the main focus is that you were canceled. You were a conspiracy theorist years ago if you even made the suggestion. Now it looks like that's quite the case. That's exactly what happened.
Now, wait a minute, though. Jimmy Kimmel laughed at me on television, Nige. Are you telling me that he was wrong?
That was what was that clip we played? That was like from 2020, right?
Yes.
And making fun of
April of 2020.
So something strange happened to that narrative of the wet market in Wuhan. That's when Jon Stewart, lefty comedian Jon Stewart, appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert to, talk about the pandemic. And then he ended up flooring the audience with his take on where the virus came from. This was from mid-June 2021.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean like there was a chance that this was created in a lab? There's an investigation.
A chance?
Well, but
oh my
if there was
God.
evidence, I'd love to hear it.
There's
I just don't know.
a novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do we do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan novel respiratory coronavirus lab. The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask those scientists, they're like, how did this... So wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. What about this? Listen to this.
Wait a second.
All right.
John.
Oh my God. There's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think happened? Like, I don't know. Maybe a steam shovel mated with a cocoa bean. Or it's the chocolate factory. Maybe that's it.
That could be.
So listen, you remember what happened to him after that. And this is lefty. All the lefty progressives love Jon Stewart until he went with that narrative, with his theory of what he thought would happen. And it completely made sense, to me anyway. And so people were calling him, crazy. All the stuff, all the things.
The same people that lifted him up on the pedestal before were calling him a sellout and a crackpot now.
So fast forward to this, the past couple of weeks when another investigation has come out and said, it looks like it came out of the Wuhan lab. Jon Stewart having the last laugh, but is, kind of angry over how he was treated. This is the latest from his podcast.
My bigger problem with that was I thought it was a pretty good bit that expressed kind of how I felt. And the two things that came out of it were I'm racist against Asian people and how dare I align myself with the alt-right. And the backlash was swift, immediate, and quite loud. The part that I don't like about it is the absolutes and the dismissive, like, you, I'm done with you. I will never forgive you. You have crossed an unforgivable line. You've expressed an opinion that is antithetical to mine or not mine.
You know what? In the words of Joe Biden, Welcome to the party, Bal. Jon Stewart seems very shocked when he himself and most of the mainstream media and corporate late-night talk show hosts said the same thing about people that questioned the vaccine, people that didn't want to get the vaccine. You were a grandma killer. The hatred and the vitriol. And now he seemed shocked. How in the world could this happen to me when I just merely stated an opinion and a joke?
I'm one of you.
Oh, wow. I don't feel any sympathy or empathy or whatever for Jon Stewart. And I think, I agreed with him back in 2021, but I don't be shocked that your own people, your own side, the political party and the people that vote for Joe Biden and those kinds of people, the progressives, turned on you because you didn't go along with their narrative.
You mispronounced lunatics.
Yeah,
lunatics is the word we're looking for here.
I don't feel a bit sorry for them.
No, this is the crowd that you helped create.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sorry, but these are your people. These are your people, and Bill Maher, too. Bill Maher is another one. You don't get to say, I can't believe they're coming after me, and I think this party's gotten too out of control. You helped create it. You helped create the monster there. Allison, hit me with some legal stuff.
Yeah.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff. Mississippi's governor signs the transgender health care ban for minors. Now, this is something we've been talking about a lot here in Indianapolis. A bill that bans puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and surgeries for minors in Mississippi who want gender-affirming medical care was signed by their governor. Now, Mississippi joins Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, South Dakota, and Utah as states that have already taken care of this. Indiana working on it now. It's passed through the Senate, but now we wait for the House. And then the question becomes, is Governor Holcomb even going to sign the thing?
Well, he vetoed the bill that would have banned biological boys from playing women's sports. Nothing would surprise me. And I just don't know. I don't know why this is so controversial. Gender affirming care that would ban these medical procedures for underage kids. Even if your parents agree to it, there's no way an underage kid could make that decision on their own. For God's sake, I have to fill out like 10 different forms if my kid wants to go out and on a field trip. There's actually schools and teachers that would keep that kind of information, the him, her pronoun type thing, the gender stuff, away from their parents. And especially, surgeries for minors. You do not have the capacity. I don't care if you're 16 or 17 years old. You don't have the capacity to understand what the ramifications of major gender surgery would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 years down the road.
If you're not old enough to buy a lottery ticket, you're not old enough to chop off your crank. I will stand by that statement. I will shout that from the top of the mountains. And maybe this bill does something that we haven't really been talking about. Maybe this is a bill that protects kids from their pushy, progressive, woke parents. Maybe there are some of these progressive parents that are really forcing this kind of stuff on their kid. Maybe you need to change. Maybe this is a bill that kind of helps protect the kids.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not, most kids grow out of it. I don't see how it's the medical part of this is so controversial. Look, if you're parents and you want to affirm that your kid is no longer a boy, it's turning into a girl, that's your decision. I disagree with it, but I mean, it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be trans. That's none of my business. But when it starts to be my business is when you actually perform. You start cutting appendages off little kids, even with their parents' consent, they'd have no understanding or the capacity to understand what that would mean years down the road. And you've heard several testified in the Indiana State Legislature that they had that surgery and now regret it.
If you want to do it over the age of 18, knock yourself out. Yeah, I'll bring you some new scissors if that'll make you happy. But if you're underage, it's not going to happen. And I'm curious to see if Governor Holcomb agrees with that. We got some more legal stuff here. Allison, can I get some mood music?
Little mood music?
Do we have
Alice?
it? Okay.
Okay. Oh! Blew my eardrum there.
Classic NFL films, man. Inject this right into my veins right here.
Like that stuff?
NFL Films, the official production arm of the National Football League, reportedly has maintained a database of cheerleader butt, boob, and cleavage shots.
Okay.
The Wall Street Journal reported that the former NFL Film Human Resources employee, Victoria Russell, filed a lawsuit against the company after they fired her last year for revealing that they have these sexualized and offensive descriptions of women in a database that the company keeps.
So if they're putting together an NFL film and they need some footage of some cheerleaders to splice in between them plays of football, they could type in cheerleader. Maybe they could type in butt.
So here are some of the things labeled according to the lawsuit. Cheerleader buttocks. Cheerleader rear end. Female fan in bikini top. Naughty camera work. Close-up of cheerleader's breasts. Cleavage shot. Endowed woman. Random woman cleavage shot. Now, here's where we get a little fight here.
How can I access this database?
The NFL spokesman, Brian McCarthy, said that the way NFL films work is that they edit things on a frame-by-frame basis. So everything is labeled frame by frame so they know what not to use when they're making highlight films. So if you're looking for a highlight of Marvin Harrison catching a touchdown for the Colts, and it's from a game that was on CBS, and he catches the touchdown, but then they cut to a crowd shot, and it's some chick with big cans, and she's jumping up and down, that would be labeled on here because the NFL Films people said, we don't want that to make the highlight films.
Okay, so good. So they're pushing back, is what you're saying. They're not backing down. They're not apologizing for this.
Right. Now, she also alleges that she was denied a dedicated workspace, pay raises, and advancement opportunities in this, quote, white and male employee-oriented business.
Oh, the old racial diversity chestnut.
However, looking at the breakdown of the front office of NFL Films, 2/3 of the NFL hirings last year were women or people of color, and the top 3 human resource executives are black.
Was she supposed to even have access to this stuff?
No, that's another thing.
You know what I mean? Like, did she have the credentials to even be there?
Brian McCarthy, who's a spokesman for the NFL, says she was not supposed to have any of these accesses, and these were not part of her job responsibilities.
All right, bye.
So, there you go.
Have fun getting that lawsuit dismissed.
I do kind of want to look around the archives of NFL Films.
I would like access to that database.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month. With no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. With the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
So if you go to Galaxy Concrete's Facebook page, Galaxy Concrete Coatings Indianapolis, you can see the before and after pictures of my garage floor. They worked a miracle. I mean, they absolutely transformed my garage into something totally different. It looks beautiful. Live in an old house. It was built in the 80s. The garage was never taken care of. It was never finished. It's cracked. It was gross. It was not a clean garage at all. Galaxy Concrete literally came in and within a day transformed my garage into something brand new. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is literally out of this world. And here's the thing, because all my neighbors have been checking it out and asking if it's epoxy. No, Galaxy Concrete Coatings does not use epoxy. It's better than epoxy and 4 times stronger. It's faster drying times, stronger holds. The color's not going to fade. It's easy to clean. Check out their website to see pictures and get a quote. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or give them a call. 317-751-9070.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Living tobacco-free is important to a healthy lifestyle. Make this your opportunity to break free.
Are you ready to quit?
Quit Now Indiana is now offering a new customizable quit plan called Pick Quit.
Pick Quit allows you to choose from a variety of tools that work best for your quit journey.
Pick Quit is a better way to break free from tobacco.
Get the help you need.
No lectures.
No pressure.
Just free help.
Go to quitnowindiana.com today.
Turn to the experts at Howald Heating and Carrier for all your heating needs. Howald Heating, Air, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good. Online at howaldheatingandair.com.
An $887 installed patio door and 20 months, no interest, no payments. Go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
In the WWE, there's a wrestler named Seth freaking Rollins. So here to take a look at the traffic is Matt freaking Bear.
Matt freaking Bear. All right. We're looking at the east side, southbound 465, stop and go Washington to Brookville Road. And on the south side, eastbound 465, that's a stop and go situation from 70 over to Harding Street. Be careful on the near east side around Brookside and Rural, okay? Gunshots reported. Police are out there right now, so just use caution. If you could avoid the area for a few minutes, that would be awesome. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Going to get a lot of rain tomorrow, but right now, sunshine and 53 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
This next story is going to make Hammer very, very, very happy. After almost a decade, KFC is bringing back the Double Down Sandwich.
Let's go, baby! Double down! I'm in!
It famously replaces bread with 2 fried chicken fillets, holding cheese and bacon in between. So it's the bun. So the patties are the bun?
Yes, and you have 2 fried chicken fillets. There's bacon, There's cheese on each one. So this is just a big, awesome heaping of calories and gooey goodness, and I am here for it. And Matt Bear is going to join us tomorrow. We were kind of having a conversation in the hallway. With KFC bringing this back, what is your favorite seasonal item from a fast food place? I want you guys all to be thinking about this for tomorrow. Like the McRib comes back once, maybe twice a year. Shamrock Shake once a year. What is your favorite seasonal, limited time only food item that people roll out there? So we'll have this conversation with Matt tomorrow.
Why do they keep losing these things? Like, why do they keep getting rid of stuff that's supposedly so popular?
I'm sure there's some marketing goon somewhere that's going to say it creates demand. Look at the Mexican pizza. It sold a little bit, but then we took it away, and now it's back and it does forever.
The Shamrock Shake.
Right. I'm telling you, man, I needed to just open up a store where we serve the seasonal items year round. And it's a hodgepodge of everything. Oh, we've got the Mexican pizza. We've got Shamrock Shakes. We got McRibs in here. You name it, we've got it year round. So we'll have this chat with Matt tomorrow. And now, if you don't remember the classic commercial for the KFC Double Down, this is what it was.
Today is the day. The day I ignore the voice of reason. The day I talk to the girl from accounting. The day I ditch the bun. And demand 2 meaty fillets. 2 slices of cheese. And 2 pieces of bacon. Yeah, I said bacon. Today's the day I double down. The KFC Double Down. Double meat, double cheese, double bacon, double awesome.
That sounded like Chip Roy's speech on the House floor, man. I was inspired. I feel like I can take on the world and do anything right now.
Hey, before we hit another break here, can we get to this story about Metallica? They got a new album coming out in April. It's called 72 Seasons, and they teased us. They're giving us a little tease here with a new song. Metallica, of course, one of my favorite heavy bands of all time. Here is a little taste called If Darkness Had a Son. I'm thinking I'm going to like this album. The past two Metallica albums, I had Hardwired to Self-Destruct and Death Magnetic, I haven't been a big fan of. But from what I've heard, the drips and drabs I've heard coming out of this new one, I think they're getting back to their roots, like the Black Album type roots. Can't wait.
New Metallica. I can't wait to illegally download it. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey.
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay. If you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery. We love getting a 6% upfront bonus, but we also love that our investment growth is tax-free because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
That's 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Woodard, M. Hart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
Hey, it's Dan Dockich here. You know, for years on my radio show, I asked people to help me out. I needed a treatment, aches and pains. I couldn't lose weight. Well, guess what? I found a solution. I did. Affinity Whole Health. All you've got to do is go to feelgreatindy.com and look into it for yourself. The testosterone program that I am on has been a godsend. I've missed no workouts in 6 months. No more aches and pains. And I have lost weight. FeelGreatIndy.com is the place to go. Get started just like I did.
Pat Sullivan here. Do gurgling pipes and running toilets keep you up at night? Become a member at Hope Plumbing and have the comfort of knowing you have a plumber on call. For only $8 a month, you get the ease of having your own plumber on hand, a 10% discount on all plumbing services, 1 annual free mainline cleaning, 1 annual plumbing safety inspection, and all the trip charges waived. Call Hope Plumbing today and become a member to start saving big.
The Phone Ready Quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics will help you decide if you and your child are ready for their first phone. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz.
Coming up in 2 minutes, more rain in the forecast means there are some flooding concerns. 2 people have been arrested in a 10-year cold case out of Kokomo, and Donnie Burgess reports on the new owners at Indiana's oldest bar. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. The jury has the case on Lisa Brady. Deliberations can now begin in the double murder case against once prominent South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh. Prosecutors say he killed his wife and son to protect himself as a double life of addiction and lies was crashing down. In his instructions a short time ago, the judge telling jurors suspicion isn't enough.
To the extent the state relies on circumstantial evidence, the circumstances must be consistent with each other and, when taken together, point conclusively to the guilt of the accused beyond a reasonable doubt.
Circuit Court Judge Clifton Newman also telling the jury they must give Murdaugh the benefit of any reasonable doubt. Murdaugh testified in his own defense, admitting he lied to investigators on the night of the murders, but he denies being the killer. The House Ethics Committee launches a formal investigation into New York Republican Congressman George Santos, and it's a probe that will cover a lot of ground.
The investigation will look into whether Santos participated in anything unlawful related to his 2022 congressional campaign, whether the congressman was honest on financial forms, if he violated conflict of interest laws, and sexual misconduct allegations. The first-term Republican has admitted previously that he was untruthful in parts of his resume after he was elected.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. Santos has resisted calls to resign, but already stepped away from committee assignments. After a lunch meeting between President Biden and Senate Democrats, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer tells reporters,
"We are filled with unity, optimism, and optimism about 2024.
Schumer also says they think bipartisan work can get done in the next 2 years, though spending remains a sore point as the president prepares to unveil his budget plan next week. On Wall Street, a rally, the Dow up 343 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The concerns that come with the rain. Sunny, 52 degrees on the circle. You got a clear radar low tonight, down to the upper 30s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. You may have already heard the phrase, turn around, don't drown today.
That's because rain is supposed to fall all across the state. I'm John Herrick.
Well, it looks like the far northern part of the state could get a little bit of snow mixed in with the rain. So lighter amounts of liquid rainfall falling for them.
But David Beechler with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there will be heavier amounts of rain the further south you go. He thinks it'll start easing up by the afternoon and then be completely gone by late Friday night. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Kokomo police have arrested 2 men for their roles in a murder 10 years ago. Joey McCartney was arrested this morning in Kentucky, and a few hours later, Jesse McCartney was arrested in Kokomo. Investigators believe the 2 are responsible for shooting and killing 21-year-old Destiny Pittman in February 2013. Detectives say tips given by the public helped them out in the case. If you know anything else about the shooting, the Kokomo police tip line is still open for phone calls. For the first time in 60 years, Indiana's oldest bar is under new ownership.
Meet the new team, Jason Amonette and Sean Lotheridge. I'm Donnie Burgess. Both men are now in charge of the Slippery Noodle in downtown Indianapolis, which opened in 1850. They plan to change some parts of the business, like the menu options, while also honoring the bar's history and previous owners, Hal and Carol Yagi. Amonette and Lotheridge want to bring more live music and to expand the alcohol selection. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indianapolis Colts are middle of the pack when it comes to how they treat their players. According to an NFL Players Association survey, Colts players had some complaints about food, roommates, and lack of first-class seats when they hit the road. The Colts ranked 16th overall on the survey out of the 32 NFL teams. One positive, though, the Colts training staff was rated as one of the best in the entire league. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison coming into downtown. Southbound 65 stop and go around west. Eastbound is 70 stop and go traffic. Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. And a slowdown in those southbound lanes. South side, southbound 65 from Raymond Street to Keystone Avenue. Southwest side, southbound 465 stop and go from 70 over to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Get 50% off tax prep at Jackson Hewitt. 50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing a participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Winds begin to pick up tonight, along with rain developing overnight, with lows falling to 40. Moderate to heavy rain for your Friday. Very windy with thunderstorms, highs near 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Tonight is the night that the Pendleton School District was hoping you would forget. But Tony Kennett has not forgotten, and he joins us now on the DriveHubler.com hotline. Tony Kennett of the Daily Signal and the Tony Kennett Show. So, Tony, let's start from the very beginning. What's happening tonight at the school board meeting in Pendleton?
Tonight, the school board of the South Madison Community School Corporation in Pendleton, Indiana, is going to fire Kathy McCord. At least that's what we're expecting. She is a counselor who confirmed to us at the Daily Signal that the Pendleton Heights High School and also the rest of the school district was using a secret transgender policy in which they would withhold a student's pronouns, a new name from their parents. So basically, they were hiding information regarding a child's sexual identity from their parents. That was school policy. A lot of teachers and also Kathy McCord, a counselor, hated that. So they talked to us about it, and now the school's coming after Kathy because of it.
How certain are you that the school board is going to fire her?
I would say 95%. That's from what Kathy has told me in a couple of conversations and from what I've heard from some other people in the district. At this point, it's really just a formality. They have basically expressed in some private conversations I wasn't supposed to hear that they're really excited to get rid of her. They call her a problem. And that's all because she simply confirmed that a policy Pendleton would have rather remained hidden was real. That's it. All she did was say the school has a policy to withhold information from parents and that they have a gender support plan, a template to do so.
Is this a partisan issue? You know, do Democrats want her gone, Republicans want to keep her, or is this something different here?
Well, curiously, left, right, center, apolitical, independent, doesn't matter. The vast majority of parents and teachers and counselors in the South Madison School District want to keep Kathy. She's given decades of service to that community. Messages that I've received from people who were counseled by her. She helped them through really terrible times in their life. She gave these kids really good advice. And just because Kathy doesn't want to step between parents and the school's coming after her, and the rest of the community is mad. Signs are in yards all over Pendleton.
Are there teachers' unions involved? What do they say?
The teachers' union was required to be on Kathy McCord's side, but according to Indiana state law, you can fire anyone on a teacher contract for whatever reason. You don't even need a reason. So there's really not anything even the teachers' union can do in this situation.
So basically, if I understand this correctly, this woman who has a great track record of being a model citizen, a good employee, has given lots of great advice to students, she made the mistake of being a whistleblower and letting people know the school is trying to cover things up from the parents, and now she's going to be the one that's out of a job?
The funny thing is, she's barely even a whistleblower. She wasn't the one who leaked this document to us. There was a teacher that ended up resigning who did so. She wasn't the one who leaked half of this material. She simply confirmed it was real. She simply confirmed in a conversation with us that the assistant superintendent required all staff to keep this from parents in an interview that I did with Kathy. And the school, they actually have written a new school board policy that forbids any staff from talking with any member of the media. They're horribly embarrassed by this because they're in the wrong.
Well, I hope a miracle occurs and somehow gets to keep her job. If indeed she is, formally fired, how possible is it that she gets another teaching job somewhere else? I mean, it's that, what's the scenario? I mean, are other school districts going to look at her and say, oh, no, she blew a whistle, she gave away secrets, we're not going to hire her? Or are there some schools that would welcome her with open arms? I guess I'm asking, the likelihood that she continues her profession in education.
She has given decades of service to Hoosier kids and families. And at this point, I believe that this entire event has just really stomped on her spirit for work. And I've been there. I know what it's like to have a school come after you and just really sour the taste in your mouth of working in Indiana schools, because this is growing more common. This is how they'll treat you.
So a couple questions here, Tony. Number one, is this something that the public can attend tonight? Is this one of those hearings where people who might have kids that go to a school in Pendleton, or maybe just concerned local citizens, taxpayers, can show up and say, this is bullcrap?
Yeah, this is a public hearing, and it's not even a regular school board meeting where they're going to read all of the minutes and do a bunch of nonsense. This is exclusively for Kathy. There will be a lot of public comment. You have to show up before 7 because now they're requiring everyone who wants to speak to sign up in advance. This is kind of a new tactic that schools are using to restrict the number of people who are going to get up and yell at them. So even if you're not from Pendleton, come out tonight. It's at 7 p.m. at the South Madison School Corporation Administration Building. I'll be there. And I'm really hoping that we pack out the house for Kathy. She deserves it.
And number two, who are the bad guys in this situation? Who looked at Kathy and said, you know what, we can't have her telling parents what's going on here? Who are the bad guys in this story?
The bad guy in this story is Dr. Mark Hall. He's the superintendent of South Madison Schools. In every interview that I've heard, in conversations that have been recorded with him that he did not know were recorded, he has been an absolute tool. He has treated every single teacher in his district, every single counselor, with the utmost disrespect. He has no understanding of how a school actually should function and run. He doesn't care for the parents or the students of that district. He's a coward. He's been caught lying repeatedly to parents in front of a school board meeting. He'll tell you yes to your face, no behind your back, and then flip it. He is an irresponsible leader. And really, quite honestly, Pendleton parents and students deserve better.
And how does it work? Is it solely his decision, or does there have to be a vote?
So he puts it to the school board, several of which are very liberal members over on that school board over at South Madison. They are the ones who make the final hiring or firing decision. But if this is any school board like any other one in the Midwest, they basically lean towards the superintendent and ask how to vote.
All right, so 7 o'clock tonight, you're going to be there, Tony, and hopefully a lot of our listeners that think this is ridiculous will show up as well. Where's the location one more time?
It's at the South Madison Administration Building in Pendleton. If you search South Madison Schools, Pendleton Administration, you'll find the address for it. You'll find me among all of the signs that'll be held up that say, "We support Kathy."
If you wouldn't mind, Tony, and I know we've had you on a couple times this week, would you be willing to call back into our show tomorrow to give us an update?
You got it. Be happy to.
All right. Tony Kennett from the Tony Kennett Show and the Daily Signal. Tony, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So, Nigel, now that we're officially into March, we got some of the final numbers of the first 2 months of crime here in Indianapolis. And Indy had 39 homicides the first 2 months. January and February, 39 homicides. That is third highest of all time, only one behind the second place number back in 2020. So when you look at the years that have had the highest homicide totals here in Indianapolis, it's been a 3-year stretch, all under the watchful eye of Boss Hogsett. But in 2020, through 2 months, there were 40 homicides. 2021, 42 homicides. And last year, there were 33 homicides. Right now, we're at 39 through the first 2 months of this year.
I'm sure there's a stat somewhere, but I'd like to know what the percentage of these homicides are that go unsolved because witnesses refuse to testify against somebody who possibly perpetrated a homicide, but they know they'd be back out on the street because of the lax laws in, the revolving door of the criminal justice system.
Right.
It's a huge problem for police.
And listen, here's a little inside baseball. Like, Nigel has a lot of friends in law enforcement. I have a lot of friends in law enforcement. They probably don't want us saying this, but I want to be honest with you guys. The numbers are higher than this because there is a thing called a death investigation. And here's what I'm talking about. I had a friend that works in law enforcement. They got to the scene of a grisly situation. There were bullet holes in somebody and their torso was ripped in half.
Hey.
But technically, they did not see or could not prove the homicide that took place. So it's a death investigation. We're trying to figure out what happened here. We all know it was a homicide, right? So death investigations sometimes are really homicides, but they're used to cover up the fact of how bad the numbers really are here in Indianapolis. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Eastbound 72 down at Town Stop and Go traffic big time from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 also drags around west to the construction in the split. Northbound 69 disabled semi on the right shoulder at 82nd Street. We are slow to 69 and northbound 465 is stop and go before Penn Pike up to I-69. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. When you choose Comcast Business, you choose a future-ready next generation 10G network. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
T-minus 35 minutes until another round of Biden madness.
Okay.
Day 2 of Biden madness means we will pick yesterday's winner, and we'll have an all-new matchup for you coming up right around 4:48-ish. Right here on the Hammer and Nigel show. It's 53 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, and we're going to have a fun round of Is This Anything next.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-200-1966. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-200-1966. That's 800-200-1966 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
Is your home's title still in your name? What would you do if you discovered you're the victim of a home title theft and that the one document that proves you own your home is no longer in your name? With Home Title Lock's free lookup service, you can verify your home is still safely in your name. Thieves can now discover the title to your home online. They simply forge your signature on a transfer document stating you sold your home to them. Then they take out loans on your home or sell it to some unsuspecting buyer. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you. Home Title Lock does. Home Title Lock puts a virtual shield around your home's title to help keep criminals away. First things first, verify your home's title is still in your name with Home Title Lock's free lookup service. There's no obligation. It's absolutely free. Then register your address for 30 free days of protection. Visit HometitleLock.com/free. HometitleLock.com/free.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we're experienced in everything from boilers to furnaces, ductwork and all. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
On 93
WIBC. Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I'll run some stories by you. You break down all of the information and give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not?
Alrighty.
Is this anything? A police officer in Michigan getting props after finishing a pregnant DoorDash driver's order because she got into a car accident.
Oh, no.
Here's the moment that Lieutenant David Allen agreed to take the delivery from her, and then when he brought it to the waiting customer.
I have DoorDash stuff in the car. Is there any way that you guys can deliver that for me?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it for you. I hope they give you a good review. Got your DoorDash. I'm not sure if you saw what happened.
I did not.
Or wondering why the police are delivering your
Yeah,
DoorDash.
she told me that. She got in an accident.
She got in an accident.
Yeah.
Talk about going above and beyond the call of duty when you're a police officer. Yes, this is something. We need more stories like this. And quite frankly, I bet the police officer was relieved. You mean I don't have to respond to a call of a belligerent homeless person that's naked rolling around in his own feces? Yes, I'll gladly deliver your DoorDash to the And by the way, I'm reading the mom and baby are both fine.
Good.
After the accident, and I love these kinds of stories where police are just helping people out, and she's trying to keep her job. She doesn't. It's nice to know, a pregnant woman who is a DoorDash driver gets in a car accident. I would think the last thing that would be on her mind was customer service.
Right.
At that point. And it's kind of refreshing to see somebody still worried and, taking their job seriously, even though they would have had every legitimate excuse to not deliver to the customer. So, yeah, that's twofold right there. I like that.
I've never been a DoorDash driver, but I was a pizza delivery guy in college. And I'm surprised that the story didn't end up that the customers were still complaining about it. Like the officer shows up, sorry, your pregnant DoorDash driver got into an accident, but I brought you your food. Well, it took you long enough. Like that's the kind of crap that you deal with.
They were probably pretty late.
Is this anything? A surgeon ran through a half marathon in Philadelphia to retrieve an organ that was stuck in traffic, and they needed it for a time-sensitive surgery.
No way.
The half marathon was the reason the transport driver couldn't get the liver to the surgery room.
Oh, he didn't run. He ran through the marathon. There was a half marathon going on, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
Here's Dr. Adam and patient Charles talking about the life-saving sprint.
I had my sneakers, a coat, and my scrubs, and I ran over there, rather slow, but we made it over there past, the marathon, dodging through the runners. I did flag down a police officer before I crossed the marathon, thankfully, who agreed to drive me back if I can get delivered and come back.
I'm really grateful to what he did, because if he hadn't have got it in me, I wouldn't have got the liver, and I would have been back waiting again, and who knows what would have transpired, between that time.
Again, going above and beyond the call of duty. for this surgeon. Who would have thought, like, would it have ever occurred to certain people that, hey, man, I better actually strap on the old sneakers and go running through this half marathon because the van that has this guy's liver is transporting it is stuck. Would everybody would have done that? Anybody,
I don't know,
man.
man.
I think again, great news. Glad the guy got his liver, and the surgeon's a hero.
I hate these marathons, man. I can't stand these
that's the
things.
other thing. Didn't that make you late one time for your betting show on Wish?
The only time I've ever been late to a TV show, I've never missed one. The only time I've ever been late was I got stuck in the stupid marathon traffic downtown, and there was no possible way to get over to Wish TV. And I'm trying to talk to the officers, hey, can I just cut across this one-way street the wrong way? And they kind of throw their arms up at me politely, give me the middle finger. So, and I'm
they did
stuck.
Not flip you off. Police officers did not flip you off.
I could see it in their face. They wanted to. Like, if you could ever just look at somebody and know they're flipping you off without flipping you off, that's the way these guys were treating me when I was trying to get to Wish TV on a Saturday. The only good thing about marathons is that the drive-through to Hardee's is wide open.
Yeah, Long's Bakery, you can get right up front there for
in
an
and
order
out,
of donuts.
man. In and out. Is this anything? This keyboard player may have done the impossible.
What's that?
He made a car alarm listenable by composing a beautiful song to play over the constant alarm honking.
Brilliant.
Creative, yes.
I hate those car alarms. They're so annoying.
And nobody ever turns them off.
Nobody, yeah.
Yeah, you can stop that anytime now, Allison.
I mean, that's something. It made it more tolerable to listen to. I couldn't just sit there and listen to a horn honking, though.
No.
It happens in our garage all the time. I'll get out of my truck downstairs, and some of these car alarms is going off for 30 seconds at a time.
Did you just say that you couldn't listen to somebody's alarm going off? So what I'm hearing you say is it's time for great moments in honking here on the Hammer and Nigel show.
This is a new segment.
Great moments in honking. This is in New York City. People were angry about the amount of fireworks that were going off late at night in the city that they went to the mayor's house and they set up shop in front of the mayor of New York City's house. And take a listen.
Tonight I'm here at Gracie Mansion. I will be joined by a few hundred individuals who will be coming here with their vehicles honking their horns in front of Gracie Mansion. We can't sleep. Mr. Mayor, you won't sleep.
Was that de Blasio?
Yeah.
Was that when he was mayor?
Right.
That's hilarious. No, I like that. I'm all for that.
Great moments in honking. Dateline Philadelphia. There was a dispute in the parking lot of a Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Are one of you guys gonna move? Somebody cutting in front of somebody, taking advantage of the situation. No, I'm not. I'm calling the police because what you did is.
Oh my God! It's Taco Bell. It's Taco Bell. Like everyone's gonna eat.
But how she just gonna cut in front of somebody?
It's not worth your energy.
And last but certainly not least, great moments in honking, quite possibly the greatest horn of all time from Caddyshack.
Yes.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, the only real estate agent I trust to sell my house is Mark Dietl. Maybe you need a bigger house for your home office or a growing family, or maybe you need to sell right away because of a job, which happened with Chris and Carly in Indianapolis. They got a job out of the country, but their home was not an easy sell, so they were stressed about the selling. They knew Mark Dietl would guarantee their home sold, so they called him. As promised, their home was listed and sold in the time frame they needed.
Call the agent that we recommend and trust on the Hammer and Nigel show, Mark Dietl. Mark Dietl is the only one that can guarantee an offer in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. That is the Mark Dietl guarantee. That's what separates him from the competition. All you have to do is call him today and get the ball rolling. Call Mark Dietl, 317-755-4232 or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, Dietel, markdeedle.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, every day is a great escape. With 35 miles of white sand, there's no better place to get away. So let's explore the secluded beaches of Fort DeSoto or paddle our way around Honeymoon Island. Let's kick back, kayak, and catch crimson sunsets. Let's trade snow boots for bathing suits. Let's make today and tomorrow a beach day. Let's shine. Plan your escape at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What you should be prepared for in the forecast. 52 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on the radar with a low of 39 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. Rain will start falling early tomorrow morning, and it's supposed to pick up at times, which means flooding is a concern.
Sort of the setup that we have right now is we already have soil conditions that are moist and almost saturated in some spots from the last week and a half of rainfall that we've seen already.
Most of the state is under a flood watch, says David Beechler with the National Weather Service. He says temperatures will also drop into the upper 30s, but then go up by early next week. All lanes on I-465 southbound at Washington Street opened back up this afternoon after a semi hauling chemicals used in paint was knocked over early this morning. The crash spilled diesel fuel and those chemicals onto the roadway. It took several hours for all that to get cleaned up. The drivers involved in the wreck had minor injuries, according to state police. The Justice Department says former President Donald Trump is not protected from being sued for what happened at the Capitol January 6th a couple years ago.
The Justice Department's Civil Division filed documents with the Appeals Court in Washington, D.C. that say former President Trump can be sued by Congressman Eric Swalwell and 2 Capitol police officers who were injured. But they link the opinion to the findings of a lower court federal judge. Judge Amit Mehta dismissed Trump's claim that he has immunity from such injury lawsuits last February, finding his speech ahead of the riot did not fall under his presidential duties and that his speech was likely incitement not protected by the First Amendment.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. President Joe Biden says he plans to visit East Palestine, Ohio at some point following the toxic train derailment last month.
I've spoken with every official in Ohio, Democrat and Republican, on a continuous basis, as in Pennsylvania. I laid out a little bit in there what I think the answers are. We put it together.
Talking after a meeting with Senate Democrats, Biden added lawmakers are working to address rail safety issues through legislation. Your stock report, the Dow finished up today 341 to 33,003. The Nasdaq finished up 83 points to 11,462. The S&P 500 up 29 today to 3,981. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Theme weeks, family nights, live a dream trips, and more. Whether you're looking for a short-term rehabilitation stay or want to downsize with our independent living apartments, you'll find there's always something to celebrate at a Trilogy Senior Living community. Trilogy is proud to take care of seniors' day-to-day hassles so they can enjoy life with friends, family, and a staff committed to exceeding their expectations every day. Visit us today at www.trilogyhs.com/live to find out why Trilogy is where family comes to live.
Stop by Family Dollar and find more to treat your family to the perfect lunch. Start with Bumblebee chicken or tuna salad, only 2 for $3. Then don't forget everyone's favorite snack. Choose from a variety of Lay's chips, now only 2 for $6. Wash it down with a selection of Powerade drinks at 3 for $3. And for dessert, Little Debbie 6 to 12 pack snack cakes are just 2 for $5. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
With traffic at 434, what's going on, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, we're on the southwest side, jammed. Eastbound 465 from 72 Kentucky Avenue, and then stop-and-go traffic over to Harding Street. Northbound 69, it's a disabled semi on the right shoulder at 82nd Street that's slowing us down. It is stop-and-go back to 465. Then those northbound lanes a struggle this afternoon from 70 all the way up to I-69. Eastbound 465, stop-and-go from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Winds begin to pick up tonight, along with rain developing overnight, with lows falling to 40. Moderate to heavy rain for your Friday. Very windy with thunderstorms, highs near 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
She was very.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Fentanyl and opioids and drugs flowing across the border continue to be a problem. We call it Biden's border crisis. 107,000 people dying of a drug overdose in the 12-month period ending in August of last year. Joe Biden severely underestimated and understated that number in his State of the Union address. I think he said something like 70,000. No, but it's 107,000. Fentanyl deaths, more than 2/3 of overdose deaths involving fentanyl. 2/3 of those, according to the CDC, Hammer.
When you look at the amount of young people, specifically young men, because that's the biggest demo, that die from fentanyl, it's really eye-opening. And it's, again, just coming across the border in droves right now. It's always, kind of been making its way in, but it's so easy right now.
So they were having lawmakers having a hearing about this a couple days ago at the Capitol, and a mom who lost her 2 sons to fentanyl poisoning a few years ago told her story. We'll get to that here in just a second. I want to get to some of that very emotional testimony. So, but after that happened, Republican Georgia Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene suggested that Biden was partially responsible. And then Biden yesterday just kind of laughed about it, actually.
She was very specific recently, saying that a poor mother who lost 2 kids to fentanyl, that I killed her sons. Well, the interesting thing is that fentanyl they took came during the last administration.
Yeah, and then chuckled about it.
Hear that little chuckle at the end? He was so happy that this woman's children died during Donald Trump's time and not his. He had to laugh about it.
Oh, boy, he was so relieved. He couldn't wait to tell people that, oh, yeah. So no condolences, nothing. And quite frankly, under Biden, drug trafficking is way up. 1,400 pounds of fentanyl was seized at the border in January. 7th month in a row where more than 1,000 pounds was uncovered by Border Patrol. Let's go back to that mom that Biden was in a roundabout way laughing at and mocking. Her name is Rebecca. This is her sharing her heartbreaking story of loss. She's speaking out so no more Americans should die. Here she is.
But 100,000 die every year, and nothing's being done. Not enough is being done. Numbers are going up, not down. And you talk about children being taken away from their parents. My children were taken away from me. 100,000 Americans every year are having their children, 200,000 because it's both parents, right? Are having their children taken away from them. This should not be politicized. It's not about race. Fentanyl doesn't care about race.
And so Alice, if you could go back to Biden fentanyl, can you play the clip again? Biden's response after Marjorie Taylor Greene said that Biden is partially responsible?
She was very specific recently, saying that a poor mother who lost 2 kids to fentanyl, that I killed her sons. Well, the interesting thing is that fentanyl they took came during the last administration.
I'm so glad. I had nothing to do with it. That was Trump.
My drug-using son made it through.
Right. This is so this woman, here's her response on Facebook. This is how you speak about the death of my sons because a congresswoman misspoke? You mock the loss of my sons? How dare you? What is the matter with you? Almost every Democrat on the committee that I was testifying in front of offered condolences. They at least had the decency to do that. You can't even do that, Mr. President. You have to mock my pain. I'm with her 100% on this one. I mean, Biden could have just said, look, I'm so sorry that happened to you. We are working on it. We are doing everything we can, which would be a lie. We are doing everything we can. We are so sorry about the loss of your sons. And could have kept it at that. But, he decided to politicize it. No, Trump. They died under Trump.
He was so proud that they died under Donald Trump. But if you want to be Mr. Funny Guy here, if you want to be cute and laugh about it, let's compare what's happening with drugs entering our country now compared to when Donald Trump was the president. Because from a federal source, Border Patrol has now seized over 800 pounds of fentanyl between ports of entry in the last 4 months. Just 4 months. In the same time frame, CBP reports seizing at least 12,000 pounds of fentanyl at the port of entries since October 1st. The DEA says 2.2 pounds equals potentially 500,000 lethal doses. That's how dangerous this stuff is.
You always hear those stats too about the amount of pounds or whatever, how many however many fentanyl pills or however much was captured at the border, and how it's able to kill literally millions and millions and millions of Americans.
There's enough in this country now where everybody in this country could die of fentanyl. There's enough of it now. Now, obviously, not everybody is taking it. But I'm just telling you, that's how much is in this country right now. Allison, we got a good old-fashioned feud, so please set the mood, please. So, Nigel, you're going to have to walk me through this. Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley against the Attorney General Merrick Garland.
Well, we kind of touched on this pro-life activist yesterday. His name, it was Mark Houck. He, at one time was facing charges of disorderly conduct in front of an abortion clinic. Prosecutors declined to prosecute. Far left, liberal-leaning prosecutor. There was also a private suit that was dismissed. But then the DOJ sent in 30 armed FBI agents even after he offered to turn himself in. And so Attorney General Merrick Garland was getting grilled during a committee hearing yesterday on the politics of the DOJ, whether or not the DOJ is being weaponized against certain right-wing groups, Catholics. And we'll start with Senator Ted Cruz, who's basically all up in Garland's grill about, the discrepancy between prosecuting pro-life counselors like this guy, Mark Houck, versus prosecuting pro-abortion extremists who have literally firebombed and vandalized crisis pregnancy centers.
If you're a violent criminal and you attack a crisis pregnancy center, that is not a priority in the Biden Department of Justice. Contrast that to Mark Houck, who's a pro-life activist. He's a sidewalk counselor. He had an altercation with someone who allegedly interfered with his son's personal space and threatened his son, and he pushed him. Now, in an ordinary world, pushing someone would be maybe a simple misdemeanor assault, but not under the Biden Department of Justice. If you're a pro-life activist, what can you expect? Well, in this instance, 24 agents clad in body armor and ballistic helmets and shields and a battering ram showed up at his house pointing rifles at his family. Why do you send 24 agents in body armor to arrest a sidewalk counselor who happens to be pro-life, but you don't devote resources to prosecute people who are violently firebombing crisis pregnancies.
It is a priority of the department to prosecute and investigate and find the people who are doing those firebombings. They are doing it at night and in secret. And we have found one group which we did prosecute.
You found one. How many have there been? How many attacks?
There have been a lot. And if you have any information specifically as to who those people are, we would be glad to have that.
Can you imagine that? Well, look, those firebombings were at night. There's really nothing we can do about it. And by the way, if
you know what's at night? It's dark.
And how flip is Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, saying, well, hey, if you have any information, I'd be glad to have it.
And then you've got Josh Hawley from Missouri getting in on the fun, questioning why the FBI, using his words, terrorized the family of that pro-life activist.
Mrs. Houck has said repeatedly the children were screaming. They feared for their lives. You got these agents demanding that he come out. They've got the guns, she said, pointing at the house and at them. Are you telling me that in your opinion as Attorney General, it was objectively necessary to use 20 or 30 SWAT-style agents with long guns and ballistic shields for these people?
What I'm saying is that decisions about how to go about this were made on the ground.
No, I didn't have anything to do with it.
So you're saying you don't know?
I'm saying what I just said.
Which is that you're abdicating responsibility?
I'm not abdicating responsibility.
Then give me the answer. Do you think, in your opinion, you are the Attorney General of the United States? You are in charge of the Justice Department. And yes, sir, you are responsible. So give me an answer.
The FBI does not agree with your description.
I'm not asking about the FBI. You are the Attorney General. Give me your answer. Do you think that it was objectively reasonable and they followed your guidelines in sending 20 to 30 armed agents to terrorize these people? Yes or no?
The facts I have, which are those presented by the FBI, are not consistent with your description.
And it just goes on and on.
What a weasel.
It went on for like 7 minutes. It was great. I mean, Hawley gave this guy a dressing down like I've never seen. And yes, it was unreasonable and unacceptable that those agents showed up and terrorized this family, especially after the charges had been dropped locally by the ultra-left prosecutor. In that case, they dropped him, but the DOJ decided to send the feds in there anyway, even after that guy told them he'd turn himself in.
Biden madness next.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey.
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay. If you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery. We love getting a 6% upfront bonus. But we also love that our investment growth is tax-free because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
That's 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
What really stands out about Shane Company is the vibe here. It's fun and welcoming. Hey there, I'm a Shane Company jewelry consultant, and my team and I will work together to make sure you have the best experience possible. We want you to feel at ease. It's a family business, and we'll treat you like family. We'll do whatever it takes to help you find what you're looking for, and respect your budget. There are a lot of great things we offer at Shane Company that other jewelers don't, like the largest selection of styles in every price range and endless options to personalize your jewelry. Did you know you can create a necklace or ring starting with one of our beautiful gemstones and then watch our master jewelers at work? That's right. There's a jeweler workshop here in our store. That means you can see firsthand the craftsmanship and attention to detail they put into everything they do. If you've never been here, visit us today and see what we have to offer. It's more than fine jewelry. It's a really fun time.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Inspiration grows here, the Indiana Flower and Patio Show, March 11th through 19th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds and Event Center, presented by Indiana 811. This is the ideal place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Stroll through this year's Indianapolis Landscape Association Feature Gardens, where spring is in full bloom and bursting with color. From landscaping and outdoor living to kitchens, baths, and more, don't miss the Indiana Flower and Patio Show. Plan your visit and save on tickets at indianaflowerandpatioshow.com.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Spring in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
An $887 installed patio door and 20 months, no interest, no payments. Go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
All right, Hammer. Eastbound 70 still locked up coming into downtown from Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. And on the east side, northbound 465, it's slammed in parts from 70 up to 69. The stall did clear at 82nd Street, so we should be thinking out a little bit. Southwest side, southbound 465, stop and go from 70 to Harding. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
52 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, and it's time for Biden Madness.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
So yesterday was day one of Biden Madness, and we had a good matchup for you.
It was good, yeah.
The number 4 seed in our tournament, where Joe Biden was trying to describe America in a single word and then had some gibberish and then had a ridiculous story about Xi Jinping.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. And that's we traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
That was competing against the scrappy number 13 seed.
This is my favorite.
Trucking in Michigan.
But I might point out, when I went to Dearborn, driving that, was up there. I don't know, man. I think the press thought I was crazy. I enjoyed it so much going up and your new EV factory in that Hummer.
That was my favorite. I wish, but that didn't win.
It did not, and it was a close one. By a score of 53% to 47, the 4 seed advances. America single word will move on in the tournament. Now, here's today's matchup, and this is a good one.
Let's have it.
We've got the number 8 seed against the number 9.
Ooh.
So this is a grudge match here. The number 9 seed in Biden Madness, Joe was doing a speech on gun control, and at one point, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but he starts speaking gibberish, and the words Murphin and Ruthers comes out of his mouth.
Absolutely determined, as Murphin and others are, to get this done.
Murphin and Ruthers. Now, keep in mind, he was not in the presence of anyone named Murphin or Ruthers while on the stage. Allison, can I hear it again?
I don't think I've heard that one before.
Absolutely determined, as Murphin and others are, to get this done.
Who the hell are Murphin and Ruthers? So that's the number 9 seed.
Oh, man, I've never heard that one.
The number 8 seed, and we played this one recently. This was when Joe was at a MLK Day event with Al Sharpton, and he noticed that the wife of Martin Luther King III was in the crowd. Now, keep in mind, her name is Andrea. Take a listen to Joe Biden trying to sing happy birthday to her, and he clearly forgets her name.
Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, you sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Valen. Happy birthday to you.
Her name is not Val. Andrea Waters King, the wife of Martin Luther King III. You're there on MLK Day, and you butcher her name.
That's going to win.
My wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, you sing happy birthday. You ready?
One more time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Andrea.
Happy birthday, dear Dallas. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, that's the winner today, I think.
Voting is open now on Twitter at Hammer and Nigel. Murphin and Ruthers against Happy Birthday. Vote now at Hammer and Nigel.
What if you didn't have to continue working to live a lifestyle you're happy with? What if you could spend the rest of your life doing what you want to do when you want to do it, not worrying about others claiming your time and energy? Aspiring retirees want to know how to achieve the work-optional lifestyle. A much better question is, who can help you achieve this lifestyle? Working because you want to, not because you have to, is financial freedom. This is Brian Singer. My friend and colleague Casey Weed, the founder of Howard Bailey Financial, wrote a best-selling book titled Job Optional. I'm excited to be part of a team that has developed and refined a proprietary process designed to help people who are still working create a job-optional lifestyle. The Howard Bailey Retire with Purpose framework looks at 5 key areas of your financial life and then informs your choices to design a lifestyle as unique as you are. Retire with Purpose puts all the pieces of the puzzle together in a process designed to bring predictability and purpose to your financial life. We're not all things to all people. We are all things to some people. This means we primarily work with people who understand you don't need to know how, you just need to know who. Who knows how to fit all the pieces of the puzzle together to support your one-of-a-kind lifestyle? Who can do that for you and do it so well that that advisor team is the last team you will ever need or want? We work with people who expect their relationship with us to be transformational rather than transactional. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a retirement readiness review and see how the Retire with Purpose process might transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved. Job Optional was a #1 Amazon bestseller in retirement planning on 7/2/19 and a Wall Street Journal ebook bestseller on 8/9/19.
It's Furnace Madness at Peterman Brothers.
That means when you install a new qualifying high-efficiency AC unit, we'll include the furnace for free.
And we'll install it next day, guaranteed, or we'll give you $500.
Take advantage of this incredible savings for a limited time.
Visit yourfreefurnace.com to schedule your free furnace installation today. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Stop by Family Dollar and find more to treat your family to the perfect lunch. Start with bumblebee chicken or tuna salad, only 2 for $3. Then don't forget everyone's favorite snack. Choose from a variety of Lay's chips, now only 2 for $6. Wash it down with a selection of Powerade drinks at 3 for $3. And for dessert, Little Debbie's 6 to 12 pack snack cakes are just 2 for $5. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Drip. Drip. Drip.
Annoying, isn't it?
Drip.
It's even worse when it's coming from your fireplace.
Drip.
That water stain on the ceiling isn't going to fix itself. Call Chimney Solutions Indiana. Their certified technicians will make sure your fireplace is ready for reliable comfort this season. Stop the
drip.
Call the experts trusted by thousands of Indiana homeowners. Call Chimney Solutions Indiana at 317-757-6979 or go to chimneyindy.com.
Your local news coming up in a few minutes from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
They're deciding the fate of Alec Murdaugh, the former attorney accused of killing his wife and son in South Carolina.
You are the finders of the facts in this case.
With those words, Judge Clifton Newman sent the jury to deliberate. The 12 will consider 4 charges: murder of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh and possession of a weapon to commit a violent crime in the murder of each.
The defendant may be convicted or acquitted on any or all of the offenses charged.
Convictions on any of the counts could mean 30 years to life in prison. Prosecutors decided early on not to seek the death penalty in this case.
Fox's Renal Scott, the Pennsylvania man accused of trying to bring a bomb onto a plane earlier this week at the Lehigh Valley Airport, will remain held without bail after a court appearance today. 40-year-old Mark Muffley was heading from Pennsylvania to Florida when a checked bag set off an alarm, prompting a TSA inspection.
Officers found a confirmed explosive device with multiple fuses, a can of butane, a lighter, a wireless drill, and 2 electrical outlets that were taped together. During today's virtual hearing, Muffley's lawyer took issue with the description of the device. He calls it a manufactured firework. According to the criminal complaint, one of the 2 fuses on the compound was installed after the original manufacturing, so the device was tampered with.
Fox's Nate Foy. Muffley has a criminal history that includes jail time, and federal investigators say he admits to using marijuana and meth. Former President Donald Trump can be sued by a Democratic lawmaker and 2 Capitol police officers over the Capitol riot. That's the opinion of Justice Department lawyers filing a brief today that suggests an appeals court should follow a lower judge's decision rejecting Trump's claim of immunity from the lawsuits. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The concern isn't just rain. 52 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing on your radar now. Low down to 39 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Rain could start falling as early as tonight, but it's the flooding that you should be prepared for, says David Beechler with the National Weather Service.
Sort of the setup that we have right now is we already have soil conditions that are moist and almost saturated in some spots from the last week and a half of rainfall that we've seen already.
Most of the state is under a flood watch. Beechler says temperatures will drop into the 40s, maybe into the 30s before they warm back up early next week. Your Attorney General, Todd Rokita, will be in court this week in his lawsuits against TikTok. He says the app tries to pretend it's safe for kids.
Now, in reality, it is flooded with destructive material like drugs, alcohol, and sex, all aimed at corrupting our children.
Rokita says he wants to get an injunction and hold TikTok accountable to Indiana law. Yesterday, one of your senators addressed the Senate floor. Jaden Arnold has more.
Senator Todd Young joined Republicans in highlighting government overreach, focusing on the Biden administration's Waters of the United States rule.
The latest in their deluge of red tape, the rewritten Waters of the United States rule, will make it much harder and significantly more expensive for our farmers to help feed the rest of the world.
Young says that the rule is a bare-knuckle attempt to expand the reach of the federal government over their lives and activities. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Residents in Putnam County would like answers about contaminated soil from the East Palestine train derailment being brought to a landfill in their county.
We're not poisoning you. The material is
material is isolated in one of the most protective landfills.
Audio from a tense public meeting last night. Heritage environmental workers are trying to ease concerns, saying the landfill in Rochdale is safe to bring in the soil. They say 3 truckloads have already been dropped off, with more expected in the future. Indiana's oldest bar is now under new ownership. Jason Amonette and Sean Lothridge are now in charge of the Slippery Noodle in downtown, which opened all the way back in 1850. They plan to make some changes, like having some live music, but they still want to honor the bar's history and previous owners. They would also like to add some more liquor options and maybe make a few menu changes. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-638-0727. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-638-0727 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-638-0727 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-638-0727.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at northbound 465 northwest side. Stop and go traffic 79th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465 is also stop and go Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. East side northbound 465, it jams at Washington. Let's go around Penn Pike. Inbound 65, stop and go from 21st, and eastbound 70, stop and go traffic from Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois to downtown. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you earned doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Winds begin to pick up tonight, along with rain developing overnight, with lows falling to 40. Moderate to heavy rain for your Friday. Very windy with thunderstorms, highs near 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
You know what the sad thing is about that town hall, that meeting they had in, I believe, Russellville in Putnam County, concerned citizens asking questions about the toxic waste from that Ohio train derailment being transported and put into the Heritage Environmental facility. They'd already done it. It was still going on. So you can have as many questions and concerns as you want, but they had already been doing it. And you heard the audio at the top of the hour. Harrison Silcox from the WIBC newsroom played some heated audio from that night. Concerned citizens having legitimate questions. I guess that's the way it works. Have all the questions you want, but we're already doing it. So
imagine that room, because everybody in there is probably ticked off. People who are satisfied don't usually show up to these types of meetings. So it's usually a group of people who have serious questions or doubts. Now, imagine being the guy that goes up there. Listen, I know you're all angry. You're all concerned about what's happening in our community. But the good news is we've already done it.
And by the way, the very train company that spilled a bunch of toxic waste in Ohio, sent plumes of chemicals into the air, they're the ones that actually brought it to us. So
it actually made it this time. I can't believe it.
I think, Rob Kendall, Kendall and Casey show, they've been doing a great job. They did a deep dive into what happened last night at this town hall. We'll get with Rob here in just a little while for Off the Rails and figure out exactly what was going on, which state reps showed up, which didn't, who was there, what did Heritage Environmental have to say. They're the ones that are containing this, receiving the product, so to speak.
Like, think about every town hall that you've seen about environmental things, like the one they had in East Palestine, or even the fictional one in the movie Aaron Brockovich. That's usually a group of people that are attending these that don't want to hear bull crap. They want straight shooting, they want the truth, and they still might not be happy about it.
I think the Aaron Brockovich, you said fictional, and I think that was based on a true story.
Right, but the scene in the
saying.
movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The scene in the movie where they're not happy and they're yelling. These are the way these things normally work. So imagine going in front of a crowd like that and saying, listen, I understand you're ticked off, but while you were driving here, we already got it. It's been put in a tank. It's underneath of your feet right now.
So have fun. Have a great night.
You can complain all you want, but you're having the meatloaf.
So that's my favorite comparison. That's the best story ever. Chris Christie with Donald Trump having lunch. Hey, Chris, look, you can order anything you want off the menu, but you're having the meatloaf.
But Donald, I don't really want the meatloaf.
Enjoy your meatloaf.
Such a power move to make Christie order the meatloaf.
Kind of the same thing here. We have questions, we have reservations about this toxic waste and whether or not you can do a good job in containing it, but it's already happened anyway, so whatever.
So, Nige, did you ever hit the Classy Chassis up when it was on the southwest side? Was that a place you'd been to before?
I'm not familiar with what that is or what they do in those places, Hammer, because I know for a fact my grandmother listens every day. And I was reminded of that fact. My dad called me the other day and he said, your grandma listens to all 4 hours of your show every day. And I said, yes, I realize that. So I don't know what the Classy Chassis is. You'll have to remind me.
Well, there used to be a place called the Classy Chassis.
Yes.
And it was on Harding Street on the southwest side. And it's a place where you could walk into, pay a little cover fee to get in, and there'd be women dancing on stage naked for money. The kids would call it a strip club, Nige. Well, the Classy Chassis went out of business a couple years ago.
I'm sorry, Grandma.
And it became Club Onyx.
Okay, Club Onyx, all right.
Club Onyx, formerly the Classy Chassis, has announced its closure, and it sounded like the police had a raid at the club. Now, I'm looking at the court documents here. This was a 2-month-long undercover investigation by the IMPD, which culminated in a raid at Club Onyx, formerly the Classy, on February 19th. 4 workers were arrested as part of the raid on drug, alcohol, gun, and prostitution charges.
Hello.
It's the bingo card right there. According to the charging documents, 2 dancers offered to have sex with undercover officers in exchange for money. The offer was made to the officers during multiple visits. And I think that's my favorite part. I can imagine this cop going back to Chief Taylor. Yeah, I think we're getting close.
Give me about another 5 weeks on this investigation. I think we'll have it nailed, so to speak.
Chief Taylor yelling at him, do you have it yet? We're sending you undercover. I really think we're close, Chief.
Just give me another 3 months on this, and I think we'll nail him.
The undercover officers also uncovered that a women's bathroom attendant was reportedly selling full alcohol bottles, weed, and cocaine after hours from a trash bag in the parking lot.
That's again, we talk about going above and beyond the call of duty. That's, if you're a bathroom attendant, that's really, doing your job well.
You offer them towels, maybe some gum, perhaps some mouthwash.
Cologne.
And cocaine. It's the way they do things on the southwest side.
How many strip clubs can you name off the top of your head?
Brad's Brass Flamingo, Club Onyx, the Classy Chassis,
Garter.
Club Rio, the Red Garter.
Babes,
Patty's Show Club. Allison, help me out here.
I was about to say Club Venus is in there. Dancers.
There used to be the Wild Cherry next to the Speedway.
Right. There used to be a place called The Dungeon on the east side, which the name didn't even do it justice.
There was a dive one on Kentucky Avenue called the Kentucky Club, and club was spelled with a K.
Oh, I know. I didn't know that.
And the logo, it was like legs kicking out like a Kentucky Club.
The good old days. Well, I haven't been to one of those in decades. So
Club Zeus.
That's right.
So there's
what's the one in Kokomo?
Oh, the Hip Hugger.
Yeah.
That, like, if you're doing a March Madness bracket of the iconic strip joints in Indiana,
that's what we should have done.
That should have been the March bracket right there. Strip joints in Indy.
I am so
the Hugger
sorry.
is number one.
I am so sorry, Grandma. Please don't, because every time I see her too, she's like, you know what? You guys talk about alcohol way too much. I go, Grandma, it's just a bit. It's just we're embellishing. It's just the radio.
Don't tell Grandma about how much you spent at that Vegas strip club, Nige.
Stop it!
You've told the story.
Stop it!
On the show.
She may not have been listening that time. Stop.
People don't make that much money in a year. And you blew it one night.
Stop it.
On some chick named Molly Mouse in Vegas.
Very early. I was very reckless and irresponsible. I fully admit that. I've changed my life and turned it fully around.
I think somebody that needs to get involved in this conversation is Matt Baer, and he's back in the WIBC Traffic Center.
We're looking at northbound 465 right now. Stop traffic 79th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465 stop and go from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65 jams 21st Street to the North Split. And eastbound 70 stop and go traffic right now from Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Lowe's. Next weekend plans. Stop by your local Lowe's. Weekending at Lowe's brings fun, family-friendly activities to your neighborhood. Visit Lowe's.com/events for this month's full lineup. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Again, our audience is the best. We can solicit for ways to help the city, ways to raise funds for needy children,
right,
and we'll get a little bit of feedback. We asked for strip clubs, and Twitter blows up.
Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Sunset Strip is in the conversation. They have entered the chat.
Street, yeah.
M Dog on the YouTube chat. We need to rent a party bus and do a 465 lap and stop at all of the places.
Now, I don't know if the Sunset Strip is still open. It might be, but my wife, who used to work in the beer industry and had to visit her accounts, that was one of her accounts. It was her favorite. She said the owners and the manager at the Sunset Strip was the best, and everybody loved him. I forget his name, but that was one of her favorite accounts to go visit. She would go in the day. She wouldn't have to go at night, so it wasn't open.
Right.
And again, Patty's, another one of her favorite accounts.
Really?
Yeah, all up and down 16th Street.
I once took a group of interns at WZPL to the lunch buffet at Brad's. It was a different time back then.
I just got a text from my grandma.
Uh-oh.
Yes, she listens, and it was $400. Tisk, tisk, but I love you anyway. Well, Grandma, I think she was talking about how much I spent in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Well, I love you too, Grandma, and it was a lot more than $400.
You wish it were $400.
I wish it was $400.
51 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
I love you, Grandma.
At 93 WIBC.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Well, no question, Mark Dietl is the only real estate agent I'd trust to sell my home. So maybe you need a bigger house for your office or a growing family. Maybe you want to max out your equity while you still can. How about Mike and Loretta in Morrisville? They heard about Mark Dietl on our show. Their kids were out of the house, and they wanted to downsize and move closer to the grandkids. They were worried about the timing, but Mark Dietl made it easy with relentless marketing. They had a buyer in just a few weeks at the price they needed.
Don't waste any more time. Call the agent that we trust and recommend on the Hammer and Nigel show, Mark Deedle. Mark Deedle guarantees an offer in 3 days for full market value, or he will list it for free. That is the Mark Deedle guarantee. And as far as I'm concerned, this is what makes him the best in the business. Call him right now, 317-755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey.
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay, if you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery. We love getting a 6% upfront bonus, but we also love that our investment growth is tax-free, because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out, because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
That's 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Is your home's title still in your name? What would you do if you discovered you're the victim of a home title theft and that the one document that proves you own your home is no longer in your name? With Home Title Lock's free lookup service, you can verify your home is still safely in your name. Thieves can now discover the title to your home online. They simply forge your signature on a transfer document stating you sold your home to them. Then they take out loans on your home or sell it to some unsuspecting buyer. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you. Home Title Lock does. Home Title Lock puts a virtual shield around your home's title to help keep criminals away. First things first, verify your home's title is still in your name with Home Title Lock's free lookup service. There's no obligation. It's absolutely free. Then register your address for 30 free days of protection. Visit HomeTitleLock.com/free. HomeTitleLock.com/free.
When 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning shows up at your doorstep, you can expect a friendly, knowledgeable, and prepared technician to handle the task at hand. Getting your service done correctly and on time is our priority. Visit 1HourAirIndy.com to book an appointment online and save $90 off your next repair.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You people disgust me.
Hammer and Nigel on 93 WIBC.
Yeah, earlier we played that clip of Jon Stewart back in the summer of 2021 on Colbert's show saying that, yeah, the coronavirus probably came from a Wuhan lab, the lab in Wuhan, making jokes about it was a bit, but it was really, really funny. It was really controversial for people on the left who were perpetuating the narrative that No. It came from a pangolin. It's a wet market. It's racist to say that China, unleashed a virus and then it came from a lab. And then we played the clip of Jon Stewart from his recent podcast saying, I can't believe how angry. I don't feel vindicated, but I can't believe how angry people were with me. They called me racist. And I'm like, welcome to the party, Bal.
These are your people.
I don't feel sorry for you a bit. The same thing kind of in a roundabout way is happening with Bill Maher. He's been very critical of the left and the progressive woke portion of his party. And he gets criticized as well by everybody from, Whoopi Goldberg to any crazy blue check mark on Twitter. Right?
And earlier today on The View.
Oh, yeah, this was from today.
They played a clip of Bill Maher because he recently did an interview with Jake Tapper on CNN.
That's right.
Where Bill Maher was stating that, hey, I'm a liberal, but I'm not one of these extreme woke kind of liberals that have kind of ruined the party. Well, that didn't sit well with one Whoopi Goldberg.
Democrats sometimes can take it too far, or I would categorize liberal as different than woke. Woke, which started out as a good thing, alert to injustice, who could be against that, but it became sort of an eye roll because They love diversity except of ideas. Abraham Lincoln was not a controversial figure among liberals. We liked him. Now they take his name off schools and tear down his statues. Really? Lincoln isn't good enough for you?
Well, that statue was not good enough because it showed a slave down at Lincoln's feet.
So what?
Y'all can't seem to handle anything. You can't seem to handle competition from Democrats to Republicans. You can't seem to handle the discussions of why people feel the way they do. Your idea is to get rid of everything. So stop calling us snowflakes.
No, that's your idea.
Right. You want to get rid of the Lincoln statue. Lincoln. Like Bill Maher said, Lincoln's not woke enough for you. He freed the slaves. The slave at his feet in the statue was being freed by Abraham Lincoln. And if that triggers you so much, Whoopi, then yes, you are the snowflake. Imagine waking up and hearing that from Bill Maher and being so triggered, I can't wait to go on television to have an anti-Lincoln rant. Lincoln!
It's when you say it like that, it sounds so absurd, but it's the reality that we live in. That's total reality. And now we're sitting here talking about it, so part of it's ratings and part of it's, ginning up the discussion and the outrage, but it's ridiculous.
They had to have a show meeting, because I know how these things work. They had to have a show meeting, and there was a producer and somebody that runs the teleprompter that was probably like, all right, now this opening segment, we're going to bash Lincoln. And nobody said that this was probably a bad idea.
All right, great. That's going to grab the ratings right there.
Make sure you throw it to break after you bash Lincoln. All right? We're on in 3, 2, 1. So ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl. Now, look, I like Bruce Pearl, man. He used to coach the Tennessee Vols and had some recruiting shenanigans that cost him his job. Nothing as egregious as you see right now, but he was ran out of Tennessee, but he's won everywhere he's gone.
He's been successful.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Dude's a winning
basketball coach.
coach.
Except last night.
So last night, his team, Auburn, was at Alabama. This is a rivalry game, right? So Auburn, they're trying to make the tournament. Alabama's one of the top few teams in America, but they're dealing with their own drama.
Yeah.
They have a couple guys that may or may not have been involved in a murder. So this was a big game, and Auburn blew it late. But Bruce Pearl was not happy with the officiating. And take a listen to the interview he did with Auburn Radio after the game.
Club played its heart out tonight, Bruce.
Yep, we played well. We played hard. We should have won the game. Very, very disappointing. Obviously they made some plays. We had a hard time staying in front of them. At the end of the day, I'm just sick and tired of our guys getting smashed down there. Smashed!
Coach, just talk about what Saturday represents now.
We'll get ready to play Tennessee. We were incredibly outmanned at the end. Had 4 guys on the bench in foul trouble. Joke!
Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl.
That's how he ended it. Joke!
Slams the headset down. And the poor guy that's doing the postgame show, that's Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl.
Very, very professional. But I like how Pearl was, very calm and collected in answering the question. Yes, it was disappointing, and our guys got smashed in there! I'm having trouble controlling the volume of my voice!
Oh, man.
Phenomenal.
I love this time of year. From now, March Madness to Biden Madness and everything in between, man. I love it all.
So now he mentioned Tennessee. That's your team. Are they any good for college basketball? Are they going to make the tournament?
They're going to make the tournament, but their starting point guard just blew out his ACL in the previous game. So Tennessee's hovering around like the 10 spot in the country, but I don't see them making a deep run without their point guard. Right. Totally stinks, man.
What's IU hovering at, by the way?
Well, IU was at 15 until they decided to lay that total egg against Iowa. So the regular season finale for the Hoosiers is Sunday. Senior day against Michigan. There's some chatter that Xavier Johnson may be activated for the Hoosiers in that game. But that's a game you can hear right here at 93 WIBC. John Herrick will have the pregame, and then, of course, Fish on the call.
Are there any current predictions on what seed IU is currently looking at for the tournament?
Depending on how they do in the Big Ten tournament, which is next week, IU could be, if they win the Big Ten tournament, anywhere from like a 3 seed. But if they maybe win a game and then get bounced, you're probably looking at like a 4, maybe a 5 seed.
Is the Big Ten, I know we got to get to Rob Kendall here in just a second, but is the Big Ten, are they average? Is this an average conference? I mean, I know Purdue was number 1 at one point.
Right. Purdue is really good, but everybody else is kind of down a little bit in the Big Ten this year. Kind of a down year.
Yeah.
Michigan State's down. Ohio State stinks.
Purdue's had some bad losses, too.
Yeah, I think they've lost 4 of their last 6, but we'll see what happens, man. None of this stuff matters right now. It's about what you do in March. Get to the dance, make some noise, and we'll see what happens. All right, Rob Kendall. He is ready to go off the rails. We're going to talk about what's happening in Putnam County with the chemicals and the toxins. We'll touch on some other stuff. That's coming up right after a look at the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What's different about this rain? 51 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear under radar with lows in the upper 30s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Rain is in your forecast.
We're anticipating that rain will overspread much of central Indiana late tonight, maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it will persist through much of the day Friday.
David Beechler with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says places in and around Indy could get about 2 inches of rain with smaller amounts to the north and more to the south. He says flooding is a concern, especially in low-lying areas. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita's lawsuit against TikTok is about protecting your kids. That's what Rokita says.
I know this struggle as a father of 2 boys. And as the Attorney General of Indiana, I want to do everything in my power to preserve the innocence of our kids.
Rokita's 2 lawsuits against the Chinese social media app claim TikTok pretends to be safe for kids, but actually attempts to corrupt them with drugs, alcohol, and sex. Rokita is in court this week. The federal government still does not have anything concrete regarding where COVID-19 came from. That's according to National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. He told reporters today intelligence officials are still investigating where the virus may have originated to avoid any future pandemics. The Justice Department says former President Donald Trump is no longer protected from being sued for what happened at the Capitol January 6th a couple years ago.
The Justice Department's Civil Division filed documents with the appeals court in Washington, D.C. that say former President Trump can be sued by Congressman Eric Swalwell and 2 Capitol police officers who were injured. But they link the opinion to the findings of a lower court federal judge. Judge Amit Mehta dismissed Trump's claim that he has immunity from such injury lawsuits last February, finding his speech ahead of the riot did not fall under his presidential duties and that his speech was likely incitement not protected by the First Amendment.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. If you need to get gas today, now might be the time to fill up your car. Gas Buddy says the statewide average is $3.26 a gallon. The website predicts that those prices in Indiana might be going up soon. With traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, we are on the west side looking at a crash eastbound 70 Holt Road, and what a mess. We have a bumper in the roadway right now. The far right lane and the far left lane, both of those lanes are blocked here at the moment. The traffic is stopped back to Sam Jones Expressway. Again, that's eastbound 70 Holt. Looking at the northwest side, crash northbound 465 and I-865 involving a semi. It's on the right shoulder, stopping traffic back to 79th. Traffic sponsored by B Windows. Celebrate B Windows' 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Winds begin to pick up tonight along with rain developing overnight with lows falling to 40. Moderate to heavy rain for your Friday. Very windy with thunderstorms, highs near 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall on 93 WIBC. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks as always to our segment sponsor, the greatest darn garage door company in all the land, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
You guys at the Kendall and Casey Show have been talking quite extensively about East Palestine, the train derailment, the toxic waste being transported from Ohio to Indiana, Putnam County. Yesterday, I told Hammer on the air, I'm like, look, if this company, this environmental company says they can handle it, then I don't know how I feel about it. If it's a big deal, should I be making more of a big deal about it? And really, the bigger point you were making is that how can you trust anything with the Biden administration, the EPA, because the response to this was such a disaster?
The government hates you. The government will not think twice about lying to you. The government doesn't care about you or your family at all. And so
Happy March, everybody.
Yeah, hello. Welcome to Off the Rails. But the reality of this is that the federal government has once again, I mean, there's a long track record throughout almost the entire history of the country, let the public down. And as they usually have done, they've gone out of their way to avoid transparency at any cost. And so if you are a person in Putnam County who says, wait a second, there's all these things that are happening and happening very quickly, and I have all these questions, and nobody seems to be providing valid answers to them, then yeah, you're going to be a little concerned, and it is, as it almost always is, the fault of the government.
But what if you're somebody that says, all right, I don't trust the government, but I trust this group in Putnam County. I live in Putnam County, and I know these people, and they do great job, and they do good work. I feel good about these people.
We had a guy on our show the last 2 days, name's Rudy Guerrero, and he's got a background in biology science. And again, not a guy that was calling us from an institution somewhere, not a radical right winger, isn't preparing for World War III. He laid out a large group of very valid concerns and questions. And what I told Nige, and I've told other people, is if even 20% of what that guy is concerned about, and he represents or speaks for, a lot of people out there that have these same concerns and questions, if even 20%, let's say he's crazy on 80 of it, if even 20% of the things he's posing are accurate, then everybody should be very concerned. The point is, it's not this company, it's not Heritage Environmental, or whether they can or can't do the work or whatever. All of this stuff got done before any of the concerns got addressed. And the craziest part about this is that Governor Holcomb gave more time and effort and attention to Malik Muhammad, who is now sitting in jail in Portland for attempting to kill cops, than he has to the people in Putnam County. The politicians on this, the Indiana politicians, Bo Baird, the state rep out there, who's a total zero, Eric Holcomb, John Crane, the state senator, they all suck, man.
They weren't at this meeting last night.
Bo Baird was there, but he was telling people, it's no big deal. These people do this stuff all the time. It doesn't matter if you actually think that. These people have a right to be concerned, and you as their agent of government, you as their representative of government, you should listen to them and make sure their concerns are responded to before you're doing the stuff.
Is there anything that could be done? Because it's my understanding that as much as Governor Holcomb can complain, as much as Senator Braun can complain, according to the EPA, if this is a federal order that it's coming to Indiana, there's nothing they could really do about it. You can't say no to the toxic waste coming.
All I know is that when it came to shutting churches down on Easter during COVID, or shutting barbershops down, or salons down, or gymnasiums down, or, trying to put you in jail for not wearing a mask, which his own attorney general at the time said he couldn't do, Holcomb didn't care too much about what he could or couldn't do. He just did it!
Let me play, and Hammer, this goes back to a comment you made about Heritage Environmental, who's taking care and disposing of the toxic waste or storing it. Who was the guy you mentioned again? What's his name?
Rudy Guerrero.
Okay, this is a clip from your interview with Rudy earlier today. He was at this meeting. The meeting was in where was this meeting? Russellville. And he had a question for the leaders of this Heritage Environmental. It was kind of weird.
It was an absolute mockery of a question and answer session. Every good question that was asked was the answers were either obfuscated or they outright did not ask. I specifically asked Ali Alvari, their vice president, who was there.
This is Heritage Environmental, right?
Yes, for Heritage Environmental, yes. I specifically asked him point blank, have you tested for dioxins? And he said, we have no panel for dioxins. So I followed up and I said, does that mean you didn't test for them, or does that mean you tested and found none? He literally sat there silent and would not answer me. And of course, the entire crowd started booing him.
So that was a really good interview you guys did with the gentleman that was at this meeting last night. But that was, the non-answer there on the question about the toxins or the dioxins was pretty significant.
Yeah, and I think that this is the bigger conversation here. If everything's above board and you can 100% guarantee people to their satisfaction that, hey, this is how this works, this is how we're going to make sure you're kept safe, blah, 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 okay. But the reality is I live in Hendricks County. That's the county right next door. It's like 28 miles from where I live. I'm concerned about this. I want the answers the same way these people want the answers. And I don't think it's unreasonable to say until I get these answers to our satisfaction, we shouldn't be allowing the stuff to be just being thrown out here.
Here's the other thing. There's so many people with so many opinions. Let me give you an example of an email I received today from a guy who says that you guys need to have an actual expert to weigh in on the hazardous waste issue. I have no doubt the chemist that Rob had on is knowledgeable in the broad field. However, the actual knowledge of hazardous waste issue is lacking. Now, that's just an email that I received. He wanted to know if we wanted to contact him. We could talk to him, whatever. I'm just saying it's okay to have these questions on either side.
Sure.
And they started, also my understanding that they've already started dumping the toxic waste. So it doesn't really matter. The point is moot at this point.
Yeah, and I know Bo Baird says bad things about me to people. By the way, Bo, next time you're going to say it, just assume you're saying it to my face. But you people should be ashamed of yourself, because Bo Baird is only there because of who his daddy is, Jim Baird, the congressman, and he has totally let those people down, and he should be absolutely ashamed of himself. John Crane should be ashamed of himself for not showing up to that meeting last night, and the governor should be ashamed of himself for treating the people of Putnam County worse than he treated Malik Muhammad.
So let me ask you this, Rob. One more thing on what's happening in Putnam County here. If Governor Holcomb decided to take that shipment that was coming into Putnam County and reroute it to Martha's Vineyard, would you change your opinion of Governor Holcomb?
Well, it fit right in there with the toxins in Martha's Vineyard already. Here, the people just want to be heard. They want to be listened to. They want to have their questions answered. They want transparency, and they want their elected officials, even though we know they don't care, to pretend like they care.
Going off the rails here with Rob Kendall and Casey Show, 93 WIBC. The COVID lab leak. There's two different entities now, FBI and the Department of Energy, saying, yeah, it's looking like the coronavirus got leaked out of a lab, which we've been saying that makes sense for years, and you were canceled and labeled a racist and everything else. Your take on what we've learned this week concerning COVID-19 and where its origins began?
Well, in the early days of this, and I was still working at the time with the two women. They're back on your show now.
The broads?
The two women.
Mock and Daisy.
Mock and Daisy. Chicks on the right, yes. And I said this at the time, that there's no way this thing just randomly formed in the ether and then suddenly just started attacking people, and it happens to be this super virus that we have never seen before.
The bat version of Cocaine Bear.
Yes, thank you. Perfect. There's no way. That is the best description of that ever. Yes, that this accidentally happened. And at the time, you're called, a conspiracy theorist, a radical right-wing Republican, blah blah blah. Well, what do you know? We are now, even the Biden administration, even though he's denying it, Biden still won't cop to it, but his government is saying, yeah, this is creating a lab. I'm totally convinced this didn't get out accidentally. I said at the time, I'll stay with it today until I'm proven incorrect, that it was released deliberately by China on those protesters in Hong Kong at the time, because as soon as this happened, what do you know? That all went away.
And they let people knowingly infected, knowing there was an infection going around, they knowingly let them travel to the United States.
Yeah, because China doesn't care about, this thing could get out of control, it could infect, blah, blah. China doesn't care about anybody but China.
And I'm sorry, real quick, one more thing before we hit a break here. Right. Is there anybody that's had to do more soul searching about this story than a late night talk show hosts.
Oh, yeah.
Because we played a clip yesterday of Jimmy Kimmel, and he was all smug and finger wagging and making fun of Donald Trump back in April of 2020 when Donald Trump said this may have came from a lab. And smug Jimmy Kimmel, and you've got people like Stephen Colbert all up there being the most pious of them all. And now they have to realize that their buddies in the FBI, which they've carried water for a long time, have admitted they were all wrong.
The ideology matters more than anything, though. Look at the Woody Harrelson monologue on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
People are yucking it up and laughing and have a great time when he's talking about smoking whatever it was and doing drugs and all. And then once it hits them in the face of, oh my gosh, he's talking about COVID, basically silence.
Any sympathy for Jon Stewart, who was actually saying what we're saying now back in the summer of 21 on Colbert on how this thing came from a lab?
No, screw that guy, because he's like Bill Maher. Those guys aren't mad that the stuff's happening. They're mad it's happening to them. Bill Maher and Jon Stewart, when they speak out, it's like Dr. Frankenstein going, well, this monster is totally out of control. Someone really ought to do something about that. When the reality is, you are the people who created this monster. You fed this thing.
And the monster is the radical left.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's out of control. And Bill Maher knows this is a 60-something-year-old white guy who makes humorous observations. Oh, crap. They're gonna come for me next. So he doesn't want the thing to go away. He just wants it to not come at him.
Rob, do you have time to stay for a quick second segment of Off the
I
Rails?
have 9,000 hours for you, Nige.
All right. We'll be right back. Rob Kendall going Off the Rails, 93 WIBC.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday morning at 8. Join John each week as he challenges financial advice you may have been given and reaffirms what you know to be true. Visit creativeplanning.com/radio.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. The Kirbys have been in business for nearly 4 decades, and son Robert says his parents' business practices won't ever change.
I love the way that they've ran the business, treat the customer right. Word of mouth is our biggest advertisement, so you treat people right and they're going to recommend you 10 times more, so it's been great.
Call Jessica, Lloyd, Robert, and Adam at Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning at 317-892-3614. Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
You
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Get 3 rooms of carpets Zero Res cleaned for only $139, and that's really cleaned. 388-5141 or online at zeroresindy.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Experience the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg this Sunday, March 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, live on NBC and Peacock. Watch the fastest cars and the boldest drivers fight to the finish line.
Matt Baer has a look at the road.
All right, Hammer, this is a mess. West side, eastbound 70 crash, Holt Road. The right lane is blocked. The left lane is blocked, leaving only the center lane available for travel. We are stopped back to Sam Jones Expressway. In the meantime, the fire department came in and blocked the left lane on the westbound side at the crash site, causing stop-and-go traffic back to Belmont. And then on the southwest side, southbound 465, jam 70 to the river, and northbound 465 northwest side, crash at 865 right shoulder, backed up to 79th. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Celebrate B Window's 40-year anniversary with 40% savings on all of their products. Get 20 months, no interest, no payments, plus special offer of an $887 installed patio door. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
51 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Okay, we're back. My name is Nigel. Hammer's here. Rob Kendall in to go off the rails. Let's go to Chicago for just a second. We've got a couple minutes left here. Lori Lightfoot, embarrassed and humiliated, not getting reelected. Can we glean anything from this in Indianapolis? Why should people here in Indy pay attention to Lori Lightfoot not getting reelected as probably one of the worst mayors in the history of the United States, next to Joe Hogsett?
Well, we were having our little group, we were having our little group convo about how that's happening there and not here. And I said, the difference was Hogsett didn't lose the Colts. Lori Lightfoot lost the Bears. The Bears.
Is that really a big thing as to why she didn't get in the top 2?
I think it's a shining light on the incompetence of this person.
What do you mean she lost the Bears?
They're going to Arlington Heights. They bought a big track property, and they have already told the city of Chicago, kiss their backside. Wow. We're not interested in a dome over Soldier Field. We're getting the hell out of here. And when even the Bears, who have been there since 1831 or whatever it is, say we would rather spend, and they're spending their own money, by the way, to buy this ground, build this facility. We'd rather spend billions of our own dollars so we don't have to deal with you anymore. I think the average person looks at that, even no matter how radically Democrat you are, and go, what the hell?
So it wasn't the handling of crime or the incompetence of relationship building with educators or the police. A lot of it had to do with the Bears.
Well, I think obviously it's all part of it, but I just think that's a shining light on how incompetent this person is and how unable to run the government this person is. And I just steal a phrase or paraphrase a famous phrase. I didn't come here to cause no trouble. I just came to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
By the way, as we wrap it up here, Lori Lightfoot blaming racism as part of the reason why she didn't get elected. Even though she got elected 4 years earlier, and there's an African American that beat her out for the recall.
She got beat by a black guy. And she's claiming racism. She got beat by a black guy. My favorite joke I've seen on social media is the people in Chicago said Beetlejuice 3 times, and now she's out. Rob, tell us about the great company that sponsors this segment.
Oh, it's Garage Doors of Indianapolis, the greatest darn garage company in the entire world. They even have Mike Kendall's seal of approval.
The Kendall and Casey Show every Monday through Friday, 9 to noon here at 93 WIBC. Rob, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Casey.
How would you like to get a 6% bonus when you open up an investment account?
Like it. I love it. Tell me more.
Okay. If you invest $100,000, you immediately get a $6,000 bonus. And you continue to get a 6% bonus on future contributions for the next 5 years.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. We just opened up a Roth IRA with Bill Demery.
We love getting a 6% upfront bonus, but we also love that our investment growth is tax-free because you know how we hate taxes. You got to check this out because there are even more benefits than we have time for here. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy at 317-932-9920.